Hello and welcome to the ISCA Thursday Super Cup Series here for the Goodies 313 at Martinsville Speedway. You heard that right. We are at the Paperclip, one of the trickiest tracks on the NASCAR schedule. This place has, I'd say, a little bit of a bad reputation, and it is well earned, as the officials this week have been looking very, very nasty, as a lot of drivers have been dealing with cautions and wrecks all week long. But you know how it usually is with the ISCA. Usually it's very clean and green. We'll see if that's going to be the case here tonight. Of course, my name is Brian Britt. I have Big Al as my co-commentator. Big Al, how you doing? What you thinking about the Paperclip, man? We got a long one tonight.
I think I'm doing a lot better than a lot of guys are going to be down there tonight, Brian, because I want to tell you, this track is going to test the patience of at least 19 drivers that I could see so far.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of interesting. You know, a little bit less drivers showing up. We usually see around 25 to 30 drivers, so I think a lot of these guys are somewhat intimidated by this half-mile racetrack. Of course, it is known as the Paperclip for a reason, because it is very narrow. You see these long straightaways and very, very sharp corners. So there's going to be a lot of braking here tonight, and I think these guys' brake foots are probably going to be quite sore by the end of this race, and I think a lot of these guys, they're going to have headaches as well. And what a perfect sponsor, Goody's Headache Powder.
Yeah, even the guys up in the booth are going to be stressed out as this one goes on. So this isn't a race that's going to play itself out just in those normal circumstances. This race is going to be a lot more complicated than that because it has playoff implications. And if you want to see how this is going to go on these short tracks tonight, I guess you're going to have to just tune in and watch it.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Matt DeCiani, of course, at the top of the board. He's locked in on a win. Last week, of course, Patrick Gitter, I do believe, has been able to lock himself in points-wise. Brandon Pasalacqua, of course, he's in third. We'll see if he's locked in. I think he's good. But one driver that's kind of a big question mark, Josh Schaffner. Now, right now, if he even gets points in stage one, I do believe he's going to lock in. But keep in mind, if someone that is in, or that, say a Chris Johnson, a Brian Johnson, a Greg Wyszynski, a Randy Mullins, who's 80 points out, if they win this race, Josh Schaffner gets kicked out. So, I mean, that's the thing that could happen here. That's how it could get crazy. Now, points-wise, it's not going to get that crazy. The only thing that we're looking for is a winner that is not Josh Schaffner. So
what?
Keep
no
that in
way.
mind. So Matt DeCiani's locked in right now. Patrick Gitter and Brandon Pasalacqua, pretty sure these drivers are locked in. Now, if Schaffner possibly outpoints Pasalacqua, of course, you see the points is between those two, about 11 points. If Schaffner is able to get more points than Pasalacqua, then Pasalacqua will be on the hot seat. So there is some points to look at here, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this shakes out as we prepare for next week being the championship race at Phoenix. I mean, this is going to be intense. Guys have to win. I mean, some of these drivers in the top 8 have to win.
What do you mean intense? I thought it was going to be on the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at the race facts. Taking a look at it, of course, we have 313 laps here tonight at Martinsville. Stages are 65 and 140. Of course, going to 113. 6 tire sets, 5 in the pits. Fuel window is 165 laps. I don't think we're going to really be worried about fuel here tonight. But we're definitely going to be worried about broken race cars and tires. That's for sure.
And the one thing, too, that we're going to have to watch out for, this isn't going to be a track where, because you got some guys that, Brian, are just not going to fare well tonight. We'll call it like it is. We'll call those guys lap traffic. So, with lap traffic added into this equation, man, this is going to be such a sticky, gooey recipe. But instead of using sugar, we're using salt.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be a tough one for sure. We see, look at that, Kevin Harvick honorary paint scheme.
Kev's rolling out on us, isn't he?
He definitely is. I accidentally just hit the credits button, so y'all bear with me. I think now's a good time. We'll go ahead and take a quick step away, pay some attention to our sponsors, of course, but before that, we'll play our national anthem. We'll be right back.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Driver, start your engine!
Ow.
Ew.
Ow.
Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious, because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ISCA competition here on Thursday night at Martinsville Speedway for the second to the last race at the Paperclip. Of course, looking at the qualifying order right now, of course, Patrick Gitter qualified on the pole, 19.254. Matt DeCiani, of course, qualifies on the outside pole, 19.263. These EPI drivers have been hot all season. Of course, qualified in that third place position. Randy Mullins, who is in a must-win tonight, he's in third. Fourth place, Derek Heitman. Fifth place, Ryan Strunk. Brandon Pasalak was in sixth. Seventh place, Mark Sanchez. Eighth place, Brian Johnson. Ninth, Josh Schaffner. Miller Bonds, of course, in 10th.
That's going to put Chris Johnson in 11th with J.C. Evans 12th. Darren Mullins in 13th. We see Kenny Powell starting this week at 14th. 15 shows Frank Flores and Cody Colley in 16th. Alexander Carr starting off in 17th with Jeffrey Souza in 18th. And Al Koslowski and Greg Carr round out this 20-car field, Brian.
Well, how about that? We got a perfect 20 cars, very round number here for tonight. We'll see how this all goes. Of course, we saw some drivers not set qualifying times. I think they're going to regret that in a lot of ways because this is a track that I think track position is incredibly important. But then again, you could be in the front and could get sent, could have somebody behind you send it in on you. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Of course, pace car lights are out. You see Patrick Gitter already trying to get those tires warmed up and ready for action here at Martinsville, this legendary track that is in some regards, I'd say, a crown jewel of NASCAR. To win here, some of the highest esteemed legends have won at this racetrack.
Yeah, we'll see which one of our legends tonight puts their name on the leaderboard as the pace car is down and away.
And here we go into the Geico restart zone. And we go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out for the first time here at the Paperclip. So far, so good. Patrick Gitter leads us into turn 1. Matt DeCiani falls behind him as we see side by side for third place Derek Heitman trying to make a run on the high side. And that
big
quickly,
deal here, Brian.
Go ahead.
Big deal here tonight is going to be controlling your acceleration. A lot of drivers are going to be on the brakes going into the turns. They're going to be shifting. The key is going to be is once that car gets straight, how you accelerate. And even on the restarts, the leaders are going to be on the straight and out, just like Richmond. But everyone else is in the apex of those turns. They're really going to have to watch their acceleration, Brian, as Al Kozlowski now finds himself with a little run-in with the wall.
Al Kozlowski, of course, in that last place position. He falls back to 10 seconds behind the leaders right now. He is definitely going to probably want some sort of caution to save him, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Everybody fairly clean right now, which is unheard of at Martinsville, but then again, it's not unheard of in the ISCA. These drivers always so clean when it comes to racing.
And these drivers are going to find out they got something different that they're going to have to contend with here tonight. They're going to have to deal with the tires. And the officials, most of the week with short track racing, you got to find out that the cars are really going to be bumping in that caution flag. I mean, you're looking at Ralph up there just waving that caution flag. He's got biceps like Chuck Norris, right? But tonight, with the ISCA, you're not going to get that reprieve. So you're going to have to deal with a situation where your tires are going to get worn out because you got those concrete apexes, right? And you're gonna get lapped because you got some super fast drivers out here as well.
No, 100%. I mean, that is 100% the case. I mean, in the officials, we've seen 20 cautions in a 100-lap race. I mean, it's just been terrible, the racing. But, of course, if you want good racing, you come to the ISCA. These guys always just put on a good show. As you see, of course, Brandon Pasalacqua working on the rear end of Ryan Strunk right now for that fourth place position. Here comes Pasalacqua to the inside, and it looks like he might be able to take that fourth place position away as Strunk falls to fifth. And so far, so good. You see Brandon Pasalacqua up there to that fourth place position. You see Derek Heitman trying to work his way forward. Of course, he played spoiler last week, I do believe, at Homestead. Was one of the fastest cars out there. So can he make maybe a repeat performance here tonight?
J.C. Evans looks like he just made contact with the wall. I think he broke something, Brian.
Oh,
so
man.
we're going to be watching that 9 car because he's going to be trying to find any way he can to get out of the boxing ring. And that's what we're calling this thing. It's a boxing ring, man. You call it a paperclip, I call it a boxing ring.
We're taking a look here at the 9, see exactly what happened to him. We're going to take a replay and see if we can figure out what happened here to J.C. Evans. He was followed behind the 64 of Darren Mullins. It looked like really loose right there. Oh, and just overcorrected it into the outside wall. Let's take another look at that from the cockpit. That was an ordeal right there. Oh,
yeah, he's
wow.
on pit road. Now, he did not ask.
Very much damage to that race car. Starting to keep talking over each other there, Al. I don't think we're meaning to. We're definitely, man, just kind of shocked to see, that accident there between the 9 and the wall.
Yeah, and he is actually down on pit road right now. So even though he was not displayed with the repairs required flag, I think it was enough damage to the car we actually had to do that. Now, Brian, here we are, bud, and I just want to say this. We're 13 laps into the first stage. It ends at 66, right? And we already have the 18 who is going to have the leaders visible in his rearview mirror once he goes down the straightaway. And that just means that we're adding that lap traffic narrative into this, and it's just going to make things even that much more exciting.
Yeah, that's crazy fast to have lap traffic actually being in play here. So Alexander Carr must be struggling. Of course, Al Kozlowski, we saw him have some issues as we see a big battle going on right now for the 6th place position. Brian Johnson is starting to pressure Derek Heitman. Now, Brian Johnson is below the cut line. In a lot of ways, he has to win. Josh Schaffner, actually, a lot of people, I talked to Kenny Powell before the race, Big Al. No one thought Schaffner was showing up today. And here he is, and that has caused Brian Johnson to have to get up on the wheel. He has to pretty much win here tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to ask Schaffner if Schaffner's going to show up. There's a lot of guys that drugged their crap here this week, and they got it litter in the infield, right? But they still didn't show up. So just because Josh is here, we're hoping that Josh shows up. So all of these drivers that are down there, Brian, especially the ones that have that little yellow banner going across the top of their car, they got to show up. They don't have a choice if they want to be in, if they want us talking about them in terms of winning the championship.
100%. No, I definitely agree. You should not really bet on someone showing up or not. But just to kind of the news around the garage though was that he had something else going on that he was not going to be available.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean that really shakes things up quite a bit.
Maybe he planted that seed. You know what I mean?
Have.
I mean, hey, look, it's all relative.
I mean, he could have definitely kind of planted that seed just to kind of to shock everybody's system. And when he shows up, they're like, "Oh man, the Iceman's here! Oh man,"
Oh yeah, definitely, because it changes people's strategies. Because all of a sudden now you're truly racing against an entity in order to get into the playoffs. And if you don't think that's important, then obviously you have not been paying attention. Because if your name is even being mentioned in those contexts and those conversations, man, it makes those little hairs stand up. It makes that Ethereum sense kick off in the back, in the back of your neck. You're like, what? My name? Because you made it, man. And I think Schaffner, this is his best shot yet of getting a championship. So if you're in there, you got to try to get to the Final Four, bro.
Yeah, and you definitely know that's what his goal is, to try to get a championship here. As we look at the lap times right now, of course, Patrick Gitter turning the fastest laps on the racetrack right now, 19.489. As we see Miller Bonds kind of going to the inside of Brian Johnson here. Bonds has been, getting really close to the 4. Now, of course, Bond's a non-playoff driver.
See, don't say that.
This is when it's most important, though, for points. So what did Brian Johnson do? Does he rough him up? This is the perfect track to get physical with somebody.
Yeah, but if he's faster than you, what do you do? I mean, you know what I mean? Is that yellow banner? Is that a caution banner right there? Is he gets real close to his own paradigm teammate, Josh Schaffner.
Yeah,
so
he just got really tight or something there and went up to the wall.
And those paradigm guys are stacked up right there, starting with I do believe Josh Schaffner. Then you got Brian Johnson and Chris Johnson right there lined up, and they're going to be in 8th, 9th, and 10th with Miller Bonds. Hey, maybe he's running a different setup, a different getup.
He must be. I'm sure. I mean, every position that Brian Johnson falls back here is going. Oh, yellow flag is out on the racetrack.
Oh, caution's out. We're going to be looking somewhere in the vicinity of the 88 of Al Koslowski. Now, he's got that heat pull behind the wall, and I don't know how much damage he did before he made the call. So that's what we're going to be looking at to see if maybe that was the source of the caution that encompasses you and me.
Well, here we are. Yep, he spun it out right in front of the leaders. You see Patrick Gitter and Matt DeCiani were just exiting the corner, and, of course, Al Koslowski takes the tow. It does bring a caution out, though. And, of course, at the moment, Patrick Gitter in the lead. Matt DeCiani's in 2nd place. Brandon Poncelak was in 3rd. Randy Mullins in 4th. Ryan Strunk 5th. Derek Heitman 6th. Miller Bond 7th. Josh Schaffner 8th. Ryan Johnson is in 9th. And, of course, I do believe we're seeing some pit stops, actually.
Alexander, if you're hearing this, bud, we need you to stick out there. What's the 76 doing? He was kind of stopped right there in the middle of the track. I think he's maybe waiting on the field to go by, but we need you to stick out here because those lap car cautions are going to be essential to make this thing exciting. Now, he did take a tow, Brian, so that's unfortunately going to put him a heap of laps down, especially on a track like, Martinsville. It's a short track, baby. It just, these cars are going to be hard as woodpecker lips tonight, but you still got to keep them out there if you want to make it right. You cannot press that call button.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious. I'm watching Patrick Gitter. He's like taking the shortest line he possibly can to get around this racetrack. I'm wondering if he's trying to save gas. I don't see it like it really would make a difference at this point.
It will once he
at the final stage. I think it will. Yeah.
Well, it will once he comes in, even at the end of the stage, because at the end of the stage, drivers are going to come in and they're going to try to get as much fuel as they can. Well, if he doesn't need as much fuel as everybody else, those precious seconds get him back out on the racetrack a lot faster.
No, I could see that being the case. You know, just trying to get as much to have that fuel tank be as kind of full as it can be whenever they do come down.
Absolutely.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Save a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I get you. And as you can see, his teammate has like a complete opposite, idea. He's been taking the longest way he can around the track, but it looks like I do believe pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to start lap number 30. Of course, if you're just joining us, Al Kozlowski just had an incident that saw him spin out right in front of the leaders. Luckily, leaders were not impacted at all. The caution flag has flown. This is going to allow some drivers to get back, possibly up on the wheel and give another chance at it. We'll see what happens here. Pace car has dipped down pit road as we get ready to enter the Geico restart zone. And the green flag will fly once again here at Martinsville. One thing I've been noticing, a lot of guys have been very, very loose, a lot looser than we've seen here in seasons past. As here we are battling for third place. I do believe that is Brandon Pasalacqua, trying to see if he could possibly get that position back from Randy Mullins. Mullins, of course, had gotten past before the caution, but Mullins getting a good run up on the top side. So it looks like that top side is viable. Oh, there goes DeCiani around. DeCiani into the
huge problem.
Very much so. Big accident here. DeCiani hit the curb, and that spun him around.
A lot of yellow banners involved in that calamity right there, Brian. We're going to have to definitely watch the replays to sort this out. And this also is now going to start to affect the way we're doing things here overall.
Yeah, this is definitely going to hurt Matt DeCiani. Of course, he's locked in to the Final Four, so not really going to hurt him, but it did pay some damage. Oh, you see right there, the 54 got into his rear end. I thought he just hit the apron, but no. Look at that. 4 wide, and Kenny Powell as well having some issues. So let's take another look at that again from the cockpit of the 54. We see right here, you see Randy Mullins following right behind DeCiani. Of course, he's side by side right now with Brandon Pasalacqua right in there. He just doesn't break as soon as DeCiani does. And unfortunately, that causes conflict. And that's one thing about this track, Big Al. A lot of people have different breaking points. Clear as day, that's what happened. Curious how Kenny Powell fared into this, though. It seemed like he had an incident separate. Taking a look at Kenny Powell's incident.
And unfortunately, Brian, this is just the season. I mean, this is where we're going to start handing out X's, right?
Definitely. Oh, it looks like Powell braked and was trying to avoid it. And unfortunately, I think Darren Mullins got into his rear and sent him around. So I don't think he's too hurt. Luckily, this is a low-speed collision type track. But unfortunately, Matt DeCiani, because EPI was up 1-2. They had the first and second positions. That is no longer the case. DeCiani has fallen all the way back to 17th now.
Well, I mean, this is a transitional phrase anyway, or phase, however you want to say it. It's a phrase that is a phase, but I guess those Mullins boys had a lot to prove here tonight.
Well, I mean, Randy Mullins is in a must-win, so you could just even see the desperation from that driver. Now, I don't think that he meant to hit Matt DeCiani at all. I don't think that he did that on purpose at all. I just think that he was desperate to get past Pasalacqua. I think that he was like, Pasalacqua had got past him in the caution or in the stint before, and he was like, I can't let that happen again. I got to get in front of him. And unfortunately, Matt DeCiani paid the price from his aggression.
Yeah, got that one car down on, he's still down on pit road. He'll be coming out here pretty soon. Matt DeCiani going to stay on the lead lap. 1 to go here. Light's going to be already off on the pace car. He's going to be getting up and out of the way, man. And then we're going to be blasting off out of here like Superman.
That we will be. So here we go. Let's see exactly who if we can keep this thing clean and green for a little bit here, very good first run. But here we go.
Yeah, we just need about 30 laps here before we can actually put this first stage in the books. But short track banging, and we're off and away.
And there it is. Green flag is out. Patrick Gitter, excellent restart there for him. Jumps up to 3/10 already as we see Pasalacqua able to get clear of Randy Mullins. And look at the huge mover that is Miller Bonds. I mean, Bonds has driven his way up into the top 5. Where did he start at?
3 wide. Almost 3 wide right there. It looks like Miller Bonds actually started this thing back in 10th place, so he was actually relatively close to the front of the field. But he has been making his way through the front like a scalded dog. I mean, he's letting everybody in the ISCA know that he's a bull too, and that bull's going to have to be dealt with here eventually, Brian.
100%. Of course, Randy Mullins really was the one that suffered the worst on that restart. He, of course, in the must-win scenario, he is now back, I do believe, back to 8th as he is getting passed by, of course, I do believe Derek Heitman there. Love that new paint scheme he's running right there. Kenny Powell, what a recovery for him. Even though being involved in that accident, he's up in the top 10. So good on him. Of course, Patrick Gitter right now in control. Can he hold off Pasalacqua, though? Pasalacqua's been chasing him down. Looking at it here, Pasalacqua all over the rear end of the 21. Now, this would be curious. If someone like Pasalacqua wins this race, that would definitely help out Schaffner's case because that wouldn't kick him out.
Yeah, and definitely those guys being teammates, they're going to do everything they can to just make certain that they keep that chance aligned. You know, if you can do anything to help your teammate, you know, you're going to do it. It's almost like you got to throw the ball to family if they're open. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I think that Pasalacqua, of course, I don't think he cares at all about, I mean, of course, I think he does care about his teammates. But, I mean, he's a racer. He's not out here thinking about points as much, I don't believe. I think he's like, I want to win. But, I mean, I think it's also having the secondary consequence that if he wins this race, it helps out Schaffner. But Schaffner has not been a slouch himself. I mean, look at him. He's driven his way all the way up to 4th place right now.
But once you become a team, once you sign up to be a part of the team, then every thought you have is for the team. So Brandon Pasalacqua is definitely a team player, I'd say. I mean,
yeah.
I
mean, I agree, but I'm just saying he's also a racer. And racers want to win. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's a competitor. He's a competitor. And I don't think if he's racing golf carts or grocery carts, I think this dude's going to bring the same attitude to the forefront. You know, and that is he wants to win. But yeah, I think it's different when you're on a team, man. These guys, they dress their cars up the same way. They all show up at the same time. You know, they're chewing the same gum, the same lunch boxes. You know,
I got you. They identify with one another. They definitely, you know, repping. They kind of got that. I got you. No, I pick up what you're putting down. I'm picking it up.
Yeah, it's different. You know, and even the Arabs have a saying that says, "Me and my brother against my cousin, me and my brother and my cousin against a stranger."
Yeah, no, I love that. It's definitely it makes a lot of sense. The same thing for a team. If you're on the same team, it's like it's me and my teammates versus the other competitors.
Well, you know, and if you look at that team's got brothers on it as well, you know, in the literal sense. So
100%. Of course, we got some battles brewing on this racetrack. Darren Mullins up to, of course, the rear end, I do believe, or I should say Brian Johnson's up to the rear end of Darren Mullins. Brian Johnson started, I do believe, closer up towards the front. I think top 5. He is now in 11th place. 8th place, I'm sorry, so not top 5. He is hounding the 64. I just think Brian Johnson's not having the night I think he envisioned here.
Well, I believe he kind of got moved out of the way, and you said this earlier on in the race. You said that a lot of guys are probably going to regret the fact that they didn't actually take advantage of the opportunity to lay down that good caution lap because track position. And I think that's exactly where he has himself right now. He is only going to be as fast as the 64 because it's just really, really hard to pass here. Now, when we start these things off, remember, we're always double foul. But eventually everything kind of goes to single file, and then you're just doing that Richmond racing. but the 4s look like he's really putting the Keselowski to the 64, if you will.
Well, I think he feels like he's being held up, and you can see right there he's getting physical. He's pushing him. I think that Brian Johnson's getting a little bit upset here, and this is where short track tempers are bound to flare. This track brings the worst out of people. And one thing about it, I know a lot of people will probably, Darren doing the smart thing. I think he's like, no, I just need to get out of the way. Like, this guy is beating my bumper off. But I mean, the thing about it is Martinsville, brings the worst out of people. I mean, it really does. I mean, this is where short track tempers are formed right here at this track.
And just over 10 to go, and we're already getting ready to deal with lap traffic again for the leader. So that'll be the third time after 2 cautions. So that kind of gives you an idea what the tone's going to be like here for this race tonight.
Yeah, for sure. You can see Patrick, he's definitely starting to deal with lap traffic. I do believe, I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure who that is.
Who that?
I do believe that's Alexander Carr. He's actually riding in the 4. He's got it cosmetically. He's running the 4. But, yeah, that is the 18. Just got put a lap down. Next up is Greg Carr. And Patrick Gitter definitely is showing why he is one of the championship favorites, if not the championship favorite. I mean, he's going to be tough to beat next week at Phoenix.
There's a lot going on right now. And Phoenix is one of those tracks where the track actually gets a say in the outcome of the race. So that's another thing that you got to keep into consideration. It's not just a matter of us showing up and running laps. I mean, these laps have to be flawless. And man, that's a challenging track in itself. The start-finish line, the whole thing, the 99 got hard into the wall.
Oh, and then he gets into Alexander Carr. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if that was maybe a retaliation move, or maybe the 99 kind of felt that he got boxed, but he definitely did get into the wall and express his frustration onto the bumper.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, I'm surprised that 99 is still running with how hard a hit that was. Let's take a look back at that.
Alexander Carr in the 18, he's the one that does have that dreaded repairs required flag. After getting punted, that's the word. He got punted.
Yeah, and you see, of course, Carr lets the 50 of Schaffner go, and eventually the 99 comes up on him. We'll take a look here through the 99's eyes. Chris Johnson, you see he gets up. Oh, he just gets a little bit loose. He tries to go underneath the 4 and gets loose, and then, man, I just think he just got a little impatient there. He just got loose. I don't blame that on Alexander Carr at all. I feel like Johnson just got a little bit loose trying to switch lanes to jump underneath him. Let's take another look at that.
Unfortunately, man, for the 18, that's going to cost him dearly because he's in some 6 laps before the stage ends, and he's got required repairs. So it's going to be a long night for those guys. And it's hard to make up laps, virtually impossible to make up laps on short tracks.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, really, a lot of people, pitting is going to be few and far between at this racetrack, considering you got 5 sets of tires down in the pits. It's going to be really difficult. Now, if we see a ton of cautions, like if we just see a bunch, then it's not going to be so difficult to get.
Well, he's 4 laps down now. He's 4 laps down and counting. He's on his way back out now. Leader's going to be coming right back up on him. He's got another chance to be famous again.
I guarantee you he's probably not too happy with Brian Johnson, and I can't blame him, or Chris Johnson, I should say. I really wouldn't. I couldn't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This is the Martinsville, man. This is a revenge-type track. I would not be surprised if somebody on this – I know I'm stirring stuff up, but I would not be surprised if somebody really comes out here with retaliation in mind here tonight.
Why would you put that sediment in my wine? I mean, with 1 lap to go, bro.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying, Martinsville. This is Martinsville. Do you know that? You remember Joey Logano and what was it, Matt Kenseth? Come on now, this is Martinsville.
All right, white flag is out. This is going to be the last lap of the stage. There it is. Call it in the books. Patrick Gitter going to be your stage 1 winner. Brandon Pasalapa coming in the 2nd. Miller Bonds 3rd. Josh Schaffner 4th. Fifth place shows Ryan Strunk. Sixth, Derek Heitman. Seventh, Chris D. Johnson. Eighth, Randy Mullins. Ninth, Brian Johnson. And 10th place, rounding out that top 10 point splitting position, is Matt DeCiani. We're going to take a step away, get a brief word from our sponsors. Looks like we'll be back with whoever Brian wants to talk to.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, in the ISCA Thursday Super Cup Series. I do believe we're going to go ahead and talk to a man that was involved in an accident just before the yellow flag came out. Chris Johnson, do you read me?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to chat with you, see what happened. What happened there, man? It seemed like lap cars kind of giving you a little bit of some aches and pains, and then unfortunately got into him and sent him up into the wall.
Yeah, I just caught him at a bad angle, exiting 2, and went to pass, and the car just cut loose. So I know he has the right to race, and I don't expect him to move out of my way, but it is what it is. I wasn't too happy about it because I felt like he was kind of slow to begin with to be taking up that lane, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, I hate to get down to it, but I mean, you didn't hit him on purpose or anything, did you? Because I know that you probably were very upset, but I mean, he got a meatball flag out of that. It's like,
well, I got a minute worth of damage, so
yeah. I know you're a playoff driver too, and that's got to be really frustrating as well. And this is Martinsville; it's a frustrating track. I mean, are you planning on have you censored yourself, and are you ready to get some points out here?
Well, we'll see what happens in the second stage. Let's see how bad. I don't think I got a meatball, but I got the call that I did have wheel damage. So, we'll see what second stage brings us, and if I'm able to make up this lap time. Kenny Coppola, TWRS, built a rocket ship this week, and I was on my way to the front. And, it's a shame that I got caught up in that.
100%. Well, we hope you're able to get it fixed, brother. Who can we shout out before we let you get back at it?
Of course, TWRS, Southern Spiral Pipe, and y'all up in the booth.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. That was Chris Johnson. And here we go. Green flag getting ready to fly once again. Glad we were able to talk to him. Good sport about it. I know I was kind of poking the bear a little bit there, Big Al, but green flag's back out. And Patrick Gitter, of course, wrapping it right through the corner. Very good for him. Of course, side by side, a little bit further back, I do believe we see, I think, Randy Mullins battling with Ryan Strunk, I do believe.
These guys are definitely able to breathe a sigh of relief right now, Brian, that first stage being in the books, especially for the guys that are out there that are bound by these points commitments. That's what we'll call them. We'll call them points commitments. So now we're getting closer to that race commitment as Ryan Strunk drives in hard there, comes in contact with the 50 Josh Shofter. But now, just like that, there's Brian Johnson still battling for his existence as well here. Because every car with that yellow banner on, remember, some of them are in a must-win scenario here this evening.
Yeah, and I think Brian Johnson's one of them. I mean, I think everybody that is outside of the top 4 right now is in a must-win scenario. You have Brian Johnson, Chris Johnson. I mean, definitely are in must-win. Greg Wachinski, who's not here, but Randy Mullins. All 3 of those drivers are in a must-win right now, and they got all these non-playoff drivers they got to battle with, and it's at Martinsville. So already the stress is high. And when you add non-playoff drivers, making it even harder for these drivers, they're just getting even more aggravated. And, of course, but you see Brian Johnson has recovered well. He earlier was outside of the top 10, so you got to give him a lot of credit for being up in 7th right now.
And I want every one of these, because we got 19 cars that are still in this thing. Looks like one is tapped out. The 18 on pit road with the 88 of Al Koslowski. But this race, to me, gets exciting once we get into that lap down scenario, because that's when the cautions have come out. It's great right now when you're playing, follow the leader or chase the rabbit, whatever you want to call it. But when you're all up in there amongst them, that's when I like it. When you can look over and see the whites of their eyes, that's when you know it's real.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's definitely when you know it's real. I think a lot of these guys are we got some problems for the 50 of Schaffner, as he is slow on the bottom. Not exactly sure what just happened, and it looks like he's sideways, so something has gone wrong. Oh, he hits the water barrel softly, and caution flag is going to fly as a result.
That's the best news for Schaffner, man, with that caution coming out.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he can stay in front of that pace car, that's going to be the key right there, because that means he'll still be on the lead lap. Not sure exactly what occurred, but that caution comes out early on. Lap traffic wasn't even a factor there. Is that Kenny Powell there on pit road?
I think I went a little bit too far. I was trying to find the crash. So we're seeing right now, of course, Josh Schaffner is catching up to Miller Bond. And I think he might have. Oh, he got into the 12. He hit the rear end of the 12, and somehow that broke him loose. I don't see. Usually, when you hit someone in the rear end, that breaks them loose, not you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I don't think the car really ever settled out, and of course, probably was maybe a little bit upset. Got into the brakes a little bit too hard in turn 1 and 2, and unfortunately got a little bit loose, hit the apron, and that spun him around fully and brought the caution flag out. Luckily, he didn't hit those barrels as hard as he could have. But let's take another look at the cockpit camera.
These cars are not fun to handle when they're not up at operating temperature and speed. I mean, I'll just say that. When they're cold and steady, they're not fun to drive.
They're a lot harder to drive than I think the Xfinity and the truck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Week. I mean, usually these cars are not that hard, not as hard as the Xfinity, but this week's different. As you see right there, big run to get boom right there, right into the rear end of the Mustang in front of him, and that of course broke him all sorts of loose. And he tried to get back up to speed. I thought he had. He probably thought he was okay, and I think he should have been okay. But unfortunately,
Kenny Powell, your lucky dog there. That's going to put him back on the lead lap. And with welcoming Kenny Powell back to the lead lap, that's going to put 16 of our current 19 cars on the lead lap. Al Koslowski still down pit road, as well as Alexander Carr. So that means that the only driver that's shown out there that's quote-unquote not on the lead lap is J.C. Evans right now. I do believe we had him scored some 6 laps down. So he's going to be wanting about 6 more cautions, Brian, in order to get back into the thick of things.
Yeah, and he might get them. I mean, he might very well get them. And this is Martinsville. This has been a clean race, I'd say, relative to the officials. But, I mean, it's still Martinsville. You're going to get, I think, at some point, probably a string of some cautions. There's going to be some guys that are going to get very upset with each other. And there's all likelihood, I'd say, if JC keeps his nose clean and doesn't lose any more laps, he'll probably get those laps back. But that's a tough thing to do, though, considering how fast Patrick Gitter has been. I mean, if we have any green run, a 30-lap run, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more guys go a lap down here. But here we go. Pace car lights are out. Patrick Gitter so far has dominated the race. Of course, we've seen a lot of drivers making some mistakes here tonight, so don't know how the running order is going to look at the end. This is just, we're just going to have to see. Pace car, of course, has gone down pit road. Here we go into the anchor restart zone, and Gitter goes really early, and he catches everybody off guard as he enters turn 1 uncontested. That's, of course, Brandon Poslacco able to secure second.
And I think that's exactly what he wanted to do. He just wants to get himself out front. So he's away from the melee, if you will. Definitely got one of the fastest cars out there tonight. Just doesn't feel a need to be bothered with traffic.
And here comes Brian Johnson. He's trying to make something happen on the 54. Of course, this is a playoff battle. If one of these two drivers win this race, they will move on to the round of 4 or the final race. Oh, Cody Colley into the outside wall.
And this is definitely going to be a battle right here between the 4 and the 54 because, like you said, this race has playoff implications, and I don't think there's a lot of good blood between these two. But I'm not saying there's bad blood, but I definitely say there's racing. Oh, the 54 goes around. The 64, sorry, I do believe that Randy was really caught up in watching, or Darren was caught up in watching the race that was in front of him between the 54, his father, and Brian Johnson, and that brings out, you ready for it? The 5th caution of the night, 4 solo cautions and 1 stage break.
And let's see exactly what happened. I don't see how he lost it here. It just seemed like it was so sudden, right off of turn number 4. It had to be application back to the gas. He probably didn't have the wheel straight when he put the gas back to it. These cars do not like that in tracks like this.
Somebody mentioned that earlier on. Oh, wait, that was me.
What was that?
Well, you got to keep these bad boys straight before the practical application of the throttle occurs. If the wheel is got any kind of declination in it whatsoever, and you actually apply pressure to the throttle, it's gonna go around. I mean,
yeah, and that's exactly what happened. It seemed like as soon as he came out of turn 4, it just broke loose under the gas pedal, or for some reason. I mean, it seemed like, he definitely had some wheel in it. I'm confused on that one. I mean,
pressure, son.
Looks like he's coming down pit road, I do believe, to possibly get some fresh set of tires. You see Cody Colley as well.
They got 6 sets of tires. You might as well go ahead and, if you're involved in a spin like that, what's it going to cost? You might as well go ahead and get those flat spots taken care of there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing it's going to cost you is a bunch of track position. But, I mean, then again, like you said, he went sideways, and that's going to hurt those tires. And you don't want to risk being out there in front of other people with hurt tires, and something could go wrong. So, no, I definitely respect the thought of coming down pit road. It's just going to be such a costly thing to do tonight. I do, anytime you come down, it is going to be something you pretty much have to come down, I'd say. Especially now, if everybody else is coming down, of course you're coming down. But if you have to go off strategy, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a great thing. I mean, tire fall off this week has not been huge. So I don't know. I mean, it's just going to be it's almost like you're going to want to put more thought into going down pit road than you would on applying for a mortgage.
Yeah, it's not been huge because there's not been a lot of consistent green flag runs. But the one thing you got going on tonight here, you don't have a lot of cautions. I know it seems like a lot for the people that are watching, but it really isn't. So that's one thing that he's going to have to contend with. I mean, just trying to get back up into the top 10 and back up into the top 5 before the stage is over.
Yeah, I highly doubt people are just going to be moving over to let him go. That's for sure. We haven't seen a whole lot of that here tonight. We're on lap 90, or starting lap 93. And this race has been flying by pretty quick. I got to give these guys credit. I mean, even though we're seeing cautions. Like you said, this is not a lot compared to what we usually see at Martinsville. A lot of times in the officials, you see them every 5 laps. I mean, sometimes they can't even make 1 lap. But these guys have been able to make it, a few stints that have been fairly green. So I think that as we go on, hopefully it'll get better as well. Of course, we also might have some drivers that might not make it to the end. J.C. Evans, though, did get a lap back. He's 5 laps down now as we enter the Geico restart zone. Patrick Gitter doing it a little bit different this time. Man, he is trying to be as unpredictable as he possibly can. He went really early last time. This time, he went really late. And Miller Bonds, I think, was like, he thought he was going to go and hit him in the rear end a little bit there. But Bonds is up to 2nd. Of course, started in 10th. Really big mover here for him. Oh, as you see a little bit of a stack up there behind the one of DeCiani. Matt DeCiani has had a heck of a recovery after his issue earlier. He gets all the way up
Who's
to
the 26?
The 26.
Yeah, car I'm showing is 26 in front of Brian Johnson.
That is the 76, yes. That is Derek Heitman. Of course, his number font does look like a 2. That does look like a 2. I give you that. He is rocking a new paint scheme. Love that. I like that scheme, too. Looks really good. Of course, Heitman coming off of a win last week at Homestead. Just had really the fastest car for sure, by far, as he comes up to the back of the 99. Of course, Chris Johnson. Keep in mind, Chris Johnson even said it when we talked to him. He's like, I got wheel damage. He's up in 6th right now. Look at the 99 go.
No, I think he got most of that damage repaired. He still has a little bit of a sunken fascia on the front of that Ford, but I think he's going to be okay right now. He had a minute of damage, got the majority of that fixed. Now, though, it's just a matter of seeing if he can convert that. They really messed up his hot rod. So he's trying to see if he can get that thing back up front there where his teammates are at.
I mean, he's getting some good runs. He just dived underneath the 54, locks it up a little bit. Can he keep the track position? He's still underneath them. They had a little bit of contact, but I think Chris Johnson has got the pass, and he is going to take over 6th place.
And Randy knows that like you said, he's in a must-win situation. So he's going to be driving with a little bit of desperation, especially as these laps continue to tick down. Because, Brian, you got one more stage. But the key here is these guys aren't in a must-win a stage situation. They're in a must-win a race situation.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I think Randy Mullins needs to get to work. I think he needs to figure out exactly why his car is not handling like everybody else's is. I think whether it's adjustment or figuring out what he needs to do to drive the car better, because he doesn't seem like he's got a race-winning car right now. Derek Heitman, though, starting to pressure Chris Johnson here. Of course, Patrick Gitter's got a race-winning car. He's out to 2 seconds of a lead.
Yeah, and I had a similar situation where I had a career dead car that just wouldn't win races, and we found that loose nut between the ding pedals and the seat back, and got a winner in that car. Man, look, now I'm calling races.
Looking on board here with Derek Heitman as he, of course, chases down the 99 of Chris Johnson, getting really close to the rear end. You can tell Heitman's got a fast hot rod underneath him right now. As he dives to the inside, he's going to be able to try to make that pass happen. I do believe he moves up to the 5th place position now.
And Heitman started in 4th, so he is just getting right back up into the top 5 where he's already demonstrated his car wants to be. He stayed out of the melee. He's not in this must-win stage situation scenario, but I think you can't count him out for a race win here. The 21, Patrick Gitter, definitely way out. He is... this guy's looking for traffic. He is, wow. He's got right now almost a 3-second lead over Brandon Pasalacqua. He ain't showing no signs of slowing down.
No, it looks like they unloaded a hot rod. I'm talking about a hot rod. They saw how Heitman came unloaded yesterday or last week at Homestead. They were like, we can't let that happen again. No, sirree. We're going to show up with a hot rod, and that's exactly what they got here tonight. Patrick Gitter is just driving off. He looks like he is driving. He's got 50 more horsepower than the rest of these drivers, it seems like.
Yeah, he's got a missile on a rail.
No, he definitely does. 2.9 seconds right now on Pasalacqua. He's driving away. And I would not be surprised to see that Patrick Gitter and DeCiani probably spent a bunch of hours in the shop working on this thing. And, of course, they already probably unloaded with a pretty fast RaceCPI.com setup. But I'm sure they adjusted it and made it even better. Especially when you got the year of one of the greats like Michael Conti, you usually can't go wrong. I'm sure he gave him a little bit of the secret sauce, if you will. You can see DeCiani's pretty quick, too. He was outside of the – he fell back to 17th after his mistake, or his issue, I should say, where he got hit in the rear by Randy Mullins. He's all the way up into 3rd, starting to challenge the 6 of Pasalacqua. So No, these EPI drivers, they unloaded with something that they got the secret stuff out here right now.
Yeah, definitely. And us having 30 laps to go in this stage before it's officially in the books, you got to like what you're seeing here. A lot of teams that are out there running different setups, but yet they're all still having awesome results. I think we should do some ride-alongs with some different teams and just give the fans an idea of if these guys are shifting, if they're not shifting. Some guys got fourth gear setups. I mean, it's just a lot of different things going on down there tonight.
And you see right here, Derek Heitman running a fourth gear setup. He, of course, shifting down to third in the corner, shifting up to fourth on the straightaways. He is just tearing up the back bumper right now on Miller Bonds. Bonds is holding him up. Bonds is holding up him right now, and I don't know if both of these guys are on the same setup. We'll see, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, Heitman is looking really quick. Let's look on board with another driver. Let's check out Brian Johnson. There's Brian Johnson. We see he is as well rocking a fourth gear setup. He's all over the back end, I do believe, of his brother, Chris Johnson.
That's an accurate statement. Now I'm going to be cutting to the inside of Chris Johnson on the inside. Looks like he's going to do that uncontested.
The
you 77
he shifts to
right.
third there. You can definitely see a lot of shifting is going on this racetrack. So this is not as simple as just turning laps here, Big Al. Oh, look at that. Ryan Strunk, he's not shifting up to fourth. This is a third gear setup. He's leaving it in third and letting it alone. So, and it seems to be working for him. I mean, he's running in seventh right now. And he's catching up to Brian Johnson, who we were just watching.
And that just gives our audience, man, a real unique view of what you're dealing with because, I mean, you got different cars, different setups, different manufacturers. I mean, guys they've been tweaking these things all week.
Oh, yeah. Looking on board here with Gitter, he's shifting. He's at fourth gear setup right now. He's going up to fourth in the corner, or in the straightaway, and then he pops down to third. As, of course, he just lapped Greg Carr. Greg Carr, I think, might have had an issue. If I'm not mistaken, I think he spun out or something like that. But was able to save it. No caution flag comes out. But unfortunately, he now has gone a lap down. J.C. Evans, who had got one of his laps back, has gone back another lap down. So he's back to 6 laps down.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 21 car is just definitely making its way through the field. Next car that he's going to lap is going to be none other than Mark Sanchez. Sanchez currently running in 15th position, started back in 7th. So he is definitely what we would say under construction here tonight.
Yeah, of course, Josh Schaffner just got by Kenny Powell. Moves up into the 10th place position. But one thing about it I think that's going to be really key. After this stage, of course, we've got about, I think, coming up to 20 laps to go in this stage. After this, there might not be any cautions that save you. And this is a lot like... other tracks like road courses where it takes a lot of resources to try to pass somebody. I mean, you see Schaffner right now. He's 10 seconds back from Patrick Gitter. Oh, caution is out. And you see Kenny Powell is bumping 50, and it looks like Frank Flores brings it out.
Yep, you're going to have to watch the old 8 of Fantasy Frank. Fantasy Frank Flores.
We see Frank Flores, of course, sitting in front of Darren Mullins. Let's see if maybe some contact. Looks like there was. The 64 into the rear end of the 8. Is there another? There's some more contact here because we see Frank is still pointed in the right direction, and now he's not. Yep. Darren Mullins just turning him around. I'm guaranteeing you, Frank. I got a few words I'm sure he's saying right now.
Can we please can we pull Fantasy Frank up to the booth, please?
Oh man, I don't know. Let's give him a second to cool off. You see right here, Darren kind of gets into his rear, gets into it a bunch of times here. Just unfortunately, just not give him enough time. I want to look in the cockpit here, and
that's
then
what
we
you
might
call
go talk to him.
That's what you call an ash chewing right there.
Yeah, we're looking on the back end here, looking through the cockpit of Darren, and we'll see exactly. See right there. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I really don't put this on Darren Mullins. I feel like Frank was really slow off the corner.
Lots and lots of action going on down pit road right now. Nope. It's your turn, boss.
I just talked to somebody, but I mean, okay, pop him up. Let's bring up Frank. Let's see what he's doing. Frank, do you read me?
Give me a minute, boss.
No patience.
Frank, we got you up here in the booth. Before you say too much, we want to make sure you saw some. I heard the tail end of that. No patience. Do you want to expound on that some more? Right there, because it seemed like you were kind of getting a little bit off the corner, a little bit slower than Darren, and Darren didn't give you any room to save it.
No, he didn't lift at all. I would have gave it to him eventually. I mean, but but he didn't want to lift at all. I had it controlled, and he just wanted to spin me. All right, that's how you want to race. I'll race it back the same way. I
definitely hear.
I get it. I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. It gets frustrating when you're trying to pass someone, they don't give you an inch. But you know what's part of the race. I'm not going to give up easy. I'm not going to do that.
Understand. No, I definitely get it, man. I mean, it's definitely got to be frustrating for you. We just wanted to kind of get a quick word with you, see how you were feeling for sure. Anybody want to shout out before we let you get out of here?
Well, I'm doing all right. Thanks. I appreciate it. It's all right. It's a long race.
All right. Well, thanks, Frank. We'll see you later, brother. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. That was Frank Flores, course driver of the 8 machine. Glad to see he was at least somewhat collected there, Big Al. He let us know how he really felt, though. As we see the pace car, of course, dip down pit road. Patrick Gitter getting all set to get this thing underway once again. API back up to the 1-2 positions. As here we go, green flags back out. Gitter once again going early, but Heitman timing it out. Look at Heitman go.
Ooh. Traffic's really backed up on the 440 going through downtown Martinsville.
Oh. Brian Johnson getting into Miller Bonds a little bit there as they battle for that 5th place position.
Miller Bonds, like I said, he's here letting everybody know that he's a bull, and Brian is trying to let everybody know that he's a contender to win a championship. So we talked about this on and off through the season, man, and I think it's just one of those things where we just got to let them race.
No, I definitely agree. They got to race. I mean, that's why we're here up in the booth. We're watching them race. I'm glad I'm not down there because there's going to be a lot of people that ain't going to be too friendly with one another after this race.
Yeah, I say take the Band-Aids off.
Oh, we got a little bit of a problem there. Heitman getting loose off the corner.
With assistance.
And did he get it? Was that a little bit of assistance?
I think Brandon Pasalaca was right there, just kind of putting, he was twisting the screws a little bit. And Heitman just did what he had to do, which is obviously get out of the way. Some of these guys are faster than others, and when you catch guys at different points of the racetrack, things just happen.
Yeah, I think we'll see if you are correct. We're going to look at I think you are right. A little bit of help on the exit of the corner. Brandon Pasalaca willing to do anything to get positions here. What does Derek Heitman do in response? Of course, he is probably going to see that 6 again sometime tonight.
And this thing, this race has so much, but it only matters on lap 313. So everything that happens in between now and then, it's just fluff. So you want to make sure those are good laps, good quality laps. You don't want to make mistakes, but you got to keep in mind, you just want to try to do everything you can to be out front at the end of this thing.
And, of course, right now, Patrick Gitter is out front, 0.7 of a second on Matt DeCiani. Of course, we're coming up to 7 laps to go in stage number 2 before the real big boy race begins. And Patrick Gitter has so far led, I do believe, every single lap here at the Paperclip. And who doesn't expect that? I mean, usually that's Patrick Gitter's MO. Come out here, lead every lap, win race. That's kind of usually his programming, right? He's a robot.
Yeah. That was the program I wrote for myself, but unfortunately, there's a couple errors
There's some
and
bugs
some
in it.
bugs. Code's all jacked up.
Ryan Strong, of course, we saw him. He's running a third gear setup all over Miller Bonds right now. Strong looking really good here tonight. I'll tell you, later in the season, he's been looking good. He peeks to the inside, not quite able to get there, as Bonds, of course, shuts the door.
And I know everybody's going to say, man, why is he always talking about Miller Bonds? Well, he's part of the Alabama gang. I mean, they got to give a shout out to this guy. We know the content and the character of the guys that he's racing around, but that's just letting us know his capabilities. And I'm telling you, man, that 21 card, that's the card that I'm going to be betting on next year, him and Gitter.
You mean 12? Yeah, for sure. Miller Bonds definitely, I think if he had ran this whole season, he would be a playoff contender right now, 100%.
Absolutely.
As you see the 77, of course, definitely putting some pressure on the back end of the 12 of Bonds. I'm just shocked we haven't seen him break through and win a race. I feel like he's had the pace to do it, but unfortunately just it hasn't been in the cards here lately, or yet.
Have you met Patrick Gitter?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's it's almost like Mark Martin. Whenever he was racing, he was like a championship level driver, one of the best to do it. Unfortunately, he had Dale Earnhardt, in the series.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, big wreck right there between the 64 and the 84. This is going to bring everything to a screeching halt. Cody Colley and Darren Mullins getting together right there. Nobody wants to see that.
And of course,
so close to the end of the stage.
And of course, that does end the stage. You see the 64 going underneath the 84 here. Are not quite, 64 not quite able to get there. Of course, Cody Colley trying to hold on to this position. And I'm not sure exactly how this happened. Yeah, it looks like Colley, I think, slowed down too much in the middle of the corner. And unfortunately, these two get together. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick... We'll go ahead and take a quick step away. We'll come back. We'll talk to our stage or whoever Big Al wants to talk to. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the drivers are on pit road. As of course, this is going to be the conclusion of Stage 2. Patrick Gitter won Stage 1 and Stage 2. Of course, waiting on Big Al. Big Al, you got anybody you want to talk to?
Yeah, I'll be talking to Matt DeCiani.
All righty, we're going to be having Matt DeCiani join us up here in the booth. Big Al, you got the floor.
Hey, Matt DeCiani, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Matt, what's it like down there tonight, man? First off, congratulations on just out there doing everything you need to do. You've been giving Gitter a run for his money. But what's it like down there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's Martinsville. We're getting some green flag runs. Seems like 3 and 4 are starting to take a lot of rubber. It's getting a little slick down there, so something to watch for.
Yeah, definitely. So how many laps do you think you guys put in this week in preparation to get ready to come here and be successful tonight?
I mean, I probably did more work at Homestead last week lap-wise, but I mean, it's so quick during laps here, a couple hundred probably.
Yeah, you having a good time, though? Are you having fun?
Yeah, it's fun when we can stay under green for a minute.
Yeah, this stage here is going to be the longest of all, man. We're wishing you guys the best of luck. Hopefully we can see your green flag pit stop strategy start to unfold. Who are you going to shout out here for your stage 2 second place finish?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for calling the race. Thanks to TPI for the setups.
All right, Matt. We'll hopefully talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, sounds good.
Alrighty, that was Matt DeCiani, driver of that one Coca-Cola machine. Love that paint scheme, by the way, as we get ready to exit and of course, enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out, and DeCiani kind of left holding the bag there. I'm wondering if Patrick Gitter gave him the countdown. I'll tell you what, Derek Heitman was ready to take, as he takes second place.
Now we are off and away here.
That we are. Battles are on all over this track. Merging on 3 wide there for a moment for, I do believe, 4th place. As Miller Bonds tries to hold on to it, as well as Pasalacqua trying to hold on to 5th right
Ryan
now.
Strunk gets into Pasalacqua. Pasalacqua's going to be sideways. That's going to bring the next caution out, plus the 64 and the 84 again get into the side of the wall. Those who can't seem to get out of harm's way as well.
Round number 2, right? My goodness, what is going on with these 2 drivers? But I think this all had something to do with, like you said, the 6 and the 77 that kind of led to the 84 and the 64. Let's take a look back and unpack this one.
Absolutely.
So we see the 77, of course, with Ryan Strunk. And, of course, battling with the 6. And I'm wondering what happened here. See the 77 kind of locks it up, gets up in, he gets tight, and he spins the 6 around. So, of course, that should have been all she wrote, but something else happened after this.
Yeah, subsequent to that, the 84 and the 64 were trying to get by, and they both just kind of lost traction, I guess we'll say.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it looks like the 64 once again pretty much just got up
I think
to
he might have been
the
tagged.
84 again.
Yeah, I think he might have been tagged a little bit by the 77. He might have been tagged by somebody behind him. We just hope it wasn't their fault. Glad everybody's okay, though. Speaking of everybody's okay, Halloween's coming up, man. What are you dressing up this year as?
Nothing. Myself.
Really?
Boring. I know, very boring.
Figured you'd been a rabbi or something.
A rabbi?
Yeah.
No, definitely not. No. What are you dressing up as something?
Every year I try to dress up as something, but this year I'm going to go as me, man. Just an unemployed bum.
Oh, man.
Trying to steal candy from kids.
Yeah, of course, that's how we found you for the ISCA. We just walked outside the ISCA broadcast headquarters. Like, hey, come on, can you talk? And you were like, you just used that smooth Big Al voice, and we're like, you come on in here. We gotta give you a bath.
Southern dialect right there. No, I like it, but yeah, I mean, I am excited about Halloween. You know, we don't have any kids at home, but we got kids that come by trick or treating, and you know, the dog's gonna be excited. I'm gonna be excited. I'll be throwing, you know, Twix at your toddlers.
There you go. You know, that's the bad thing about with Halloween. That's the worst thing for dogs. It's like, man, I remember house sitting for a friend of mine, whatever, out of town on Halloween, and they had a big old golden retriever. A dog. I mean, that neighborhood just all was big about trick or treating, and all the kids that were running around out there. I opened the door and he ran out. And it took hours to find that dog. But
makes you wonder if it was even your friend's dog.
I don't know, man. He was probably being kidnapped, huh? As the dog napped. As here we go, pace cars dip down pit road. As we get off of this tangent, the green flag is going to fly out once again. As Patrick Gitter up through the gears. Good restart there for DeCiani. I think DeCiani had the memo.
Miller Bonds sideways. Miller Bonds sideways. That's going to cause a huge check up. Caution not out. Green flag racing continues. Bond's still trying to get it pointed the right direction. Looks like he's going to be stuck in the middle, and that is ultimately going to bring the caution out for the 9th time this evening.
Yeah, that's definitely very curious that the caution didn't come out until Bonds, of course, kind of went sideways again. Probably was trying to get it back underway. Let's take a look at this again.
Looks like he had to get a little bit sideways.
You see right there, how did the caution not come out for this? I mean, the 4, I do believe, turned to 12. And he was completely sideways. Oh. This is definitely another one. We'll have to look at this one. I'd like to look at this from the cockpit camera of the 12.
You might want to look at it from the bumper of the 4.
I definitely want to do that. Let's look at that first, and then we'll look at the 12's cockpit camera. We're looking through the 4 of Brian Johnson. And, of course, I think Bonds thought he was going to be clear, but unfortunately was not. He pinched the 4 down. I don't see Brian Johnson really making a mistake here.
And then Fantasy Flores looks like he spins out on the top. I mean, so that was like a 7-layer burrito you had going on out there.
What I really want to watch here is Miller Bonds. Of course, caution flag does not come out because of this right here, what we're seeing right here. It looks like we're going to stay green. Like, we should have stayed green right here. You see right here, okay, no, I get it. Okay. I was thinking that maybe, I know this is probably paranoid of me to think, I thought maybe Bonds had brought the caution out on purpose, but looking at this,
wow.
he did.
Did
He did not. He didn't. I noticed now that he had shifted, and when he shifted, the tires started to spin, and that's why he spun that second time. Because I was like, he should have had it saved. I mean, we should not have had a yellow, but when he shifted down, it initiated grip to the back tires when he didn't.
Do you want to apologize to the Alabama
I'm sorry, Miller
fans?
Bonds. I'm sorry.
I mean, wow, you just accused my dude of, like, intentionally bringing out a caution. Are you kidding me?
I am. I'm sorry. I do.
Wow.
That's why I wanted to look at the cockpit camera, Big Al.
Because you can tell Georgia, like, borders South Carolina if you got that much hatred in your heart.
It wasn't hatred at all. I'm just saying, I mean, when you see something like that happen, it looks suspicious. So that's why I looked at it. That's why we looked at it. We all looked at it together. We saw him downshift, and that's what caused the car to spin out. Now, that was not on purpose. But I mean, from above, that's why I wanted to look at the cockpit camera. From above, it looked like it was on purpose.
Hey, we got you, little buddy. Miller,
I'm sorry, Miller. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're safe at home in Alabama. Don't listen to them South Carolina boys.
That's right, brother. That's right. Pace car,
run your race.
Let's get it going once again, and hopefully we get to talk to Miller later.
Hey.
I'll be able to apologize to him. He went a lap down as a result of that. That's unfortunate.
Guess what? We're halfway through this thing.
That we are. 158 laps down. As here we go. Pace car has gone down pit road. We entered a Geico restart zone once again. Green flag back out in the air. Hopefully get us a good stretch of some green flag race in the air. As Derek Heitman tries to take advantage of that inside starting lane, side by side for second place. As well as look at Mark Sanchez. That man's all the way up in the top 10.
You didn't say nothing about Frank Flores either. He was up there duking it out, man, when he got Fantasy Flores got spun out there.
Yeah, it's been definitely a revolving door of oh, there goes Sanchez.
Oh!
And he
The dirty
spins
Sanchez,
out his
that's gonna put
teammate.
Kenny Powell. That's going to put Powell into the wall hard, bringing out just our 10th caution of the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Powell getting a big Powell right to the fender there.
Yeah, Alexander Carr, Cody Colley, these two drivers both have repairs required flags. Not sure if that was from this contact or previous. But the 18 and the 84 just not having good evenings here tonight.
Yeah, the 29, of course, underneath right here. I'm not sure exactly how this happens. I'm looking at the 29, though. He entered the corner. He just broke way too early. And unfortunately, the 54 got into his rear end and kind of got him sideways. And then he went up into the 24 of Sanchez there, or of Powell, I should say. And Man, Powell got heavy damage out of that.
Yeah,
Powell
watching
had
the
heavy
84
damage.
Cody Collie just made his way down on pit road now. He'll be getting his damage fixed, and also trying to figure out what exactly happened to the 18, the Alexander car, as he was also kind of caught up in that and received a black flag.
Yeah, Alexander Carr, just bad situation going to worse. I mean, he's 93 laps down. That's what happened to Collie right there. He hit the 24 after the fact. The 24 went around, and Collie unfortunately just hits him. So, Collie unfortunately just kind of a secondary hit there, and that's probably where he got that black flag. But man, this I think we've had more cautions in this race than we probably had in the last 10 races. Just because, I mean, this is Martinsville, and we knew this was going to be like this. I coming into this race, I mean, we even said it, I think, even last week, saying that this is going to be probably more cautious in this race than we've had in all season. We were, of course, exaggerating them, but it is somewhere close. Because, I mean, ISCA known for just being clean. But tonight, of course, is a special night. Of course, 164 laps down. And we still have over 100, I do believe, 40 left to go. Pace car light should be going out here in just a moment. Of course, Patrick Gitter has led, I do believe, every lap thus far. And I do believe we're also now within the fuel window, so nobody is going to have to worry about gas. Of course, tires, that's another story.
What are we, $1.60 for gas?
I do believe it's 165 laps is the estimated. Here we go. Pace car lights have gone out. Patrick Gitter in control right now with Derek Heitman on the outside. Of course, you can tell the third place starter has had the advantage, it seems like, about every time these starts have happened. And let's see if DeCiani can take advantage. As here we go. Patrick Gitter enters the Geico restart zone and guns it. But Derek Heitman, what a start. How did he know he was going to go? I'll tell you, Gitter had to have counted him down right there. But it looks like DeCiani's going to try to get underneath them. Not quite able to get there. I think maybe DeCiani, or should I say Heitman, is starting to predict when Gitter's going to go.
Ooh. Fantasy Flores into the wall there, riding that outside.
Is he trying to chastain it?
Yeah, well, that's definitely going to slow him down a lot a bit.
Well, the green flag, of course, still out. Patrick Gitter now about a half a second back, or in front, I should say, of Derek Heitman. Can Heitman close this gap and possibly go 2 for 2, or should I say 2 in a row? Of course, he won last week at Homestead.
Yeah, but Gitter really seems to have a well-tuned instrument right here at this track. So we'll be watching to see if Heitman actually can fine-tune his instrument, man, and just be a little bit more efficient in everything that he's doing. Because, I mean, let's just be honest, Gitter, like I said, man, he started winning this morning at breakfast.
He did, but I'm looking at, you know, right now the speed that Heitman's showing. I mean, he's really, really fast. But I don't know, for a second there, it looked like Heitman was going to catch up.
Ooh, the 29 of Sanchez sideways. That's going to bring another caution out. That's your 11th caution here for the evening. With the 11th caution coming out here, ladies and gentlemen, and not a lot to see, we're going to step away, get another word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, Maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
Or there, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, right? What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Ow.
Ew.
Ow.
Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious. Because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the ISCA Thursday Super Cup Series. Of course, yeah, definitely nothing happened. It was just a single car spin with Mark Sanchez, wink, wink. Of course, we got a little bit of favoritism going to some Alabama friends out here.
Well, Sanchez has definitely been struggling a lot tonight, so we're going to be watching that camp, man, seeing if they can't keep him pointed in the right direction. He's a new add to the G&G guys. Just got a little bit too close to the 12 of Bonds, but other than that, I think it's going to be all right.
That's exactly what happened. He definitely no, you are 100% spitting facts right now, brother. Of course, the pace car lights are out, getting ready to get this thing back underway. We're 175 laps into the show. Whoa,
ooh, big checkup.
Man, they're haven't even gone green yet. We're already almost seeing accidents here.
Does it feel like you at the circus? Watching those little bears on the little go-karts.
100%. Here we go, though. Let's get this thing back underway. As there it is, green flag back out in the air. As Patrick Gitter just guns it. Trying to catch Derek Heitman off guard. Matt DeCiano getting tight on the 76.
He's definitely getting a lot of restart practice. I mean, these guys, we're getting proficient at restarts.
Yeah, the thing is I think everybody's getting good at predicting his restarts, too.
Yeah. Now, 99 and the 77 battling side by side. That's your next point of contention. 77, Ryan Strunk's going to fall in between the 99 and the 54. Now, this is one of those tracks where it just depends on how good the 77 is going to let good be gone. You know what I mean? He could actually roll right in there.
Yeah, I mean, 77's fast. He's been one of the quicker cars here tonight. But unfortunately, I think Chris Johnson might, at this moment, be a little bit quicker. But then again, you see the 77 right on the bumper.
Kenny Powell sideways. Kenny Powell's going to have a little, in a very passionate scrub with that inside retaining wall.
Yeah, one thing I'm just noticing as well, Josh Schaffner, who was one of the top 10 runners today, he's now 49 laps down. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, he's going to be wanting a caution, or 44.
Yeah, I would say he's going to want 40-something caution. I don't want that, though. I'm sorry. He could stay 49 laps down. But Patrick Gitter right now in control on lap 80. Of course, Kenny Powell was able to recover. No caution flag as he sits in that 12th place position. Brian Johnson, of course, even though Schaffner's having some bad luck, he did get stage points in the first stage. And that essentially, he is right now, I do believe, pointed in. But if a driver like Brian Johnson right now wins this race, that takes Schaffner out of it. So let's see, can Brian close the gap? Of course, he's had a little bit of bad luck tonight, but he's in really good position right now, up to 4th, and running some really good laps.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be watching this thing all the way to the end. So those of you that are wondering if we're going to be covering it, yeah, Brian and I aren't going anywhere. We're definitely committed to lap 313, and even a post-race show at the end of that.
That is 100%. Hopefully these guys keep it green. I know we've had a string of cautions here, but I think we have all the makings of a good green race here, as we see, of course, Passalacqua catching up to the rear end of the 77.
Ooh, Frank Flores spins Kenny Powell. The 25 barely makes it by caution. It's going to come out. Now, we were watching that one. That one just kind of stacked itself up, unfortunately. Derek Carr also getting involved in that one, as he's going to take a little bit of a squat. I believe that was, man, what just happened? Looks like the 8 was just right there, and him and the 24 just kind of come off, and it seems like they might have not been aware that each one was where the other was, Brian.
I don't know. Looking back at it right now, we see, of course, Frank Flores being caught by Josh Schaffner. And I think Schaffner tries to get underneath Frank here. Frank goes high, lets him go. And you see Frank, I just don't know about this one. This is interesting. Take another look at it here. You see Greg Carr also had some issues.
128 laps to go on the whistle. Lots of action down on pit road right now.
Take another look at this here. You see Frank coming off the corner. He came off the corner a little bit lower than I think Kenny Powell expected. And you see, look at that. Greg Carr missed this. And it has to, he lost it. But then mashes the brake and avoids the wall. So even though that looked bad for Greg Carr, it actually was not that bad. He actually did not hit anything. He avoided hitting something, which is it's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime they can say that about you is that, like, hey, yeah, that guy just didn't hit anything, I mean, you're winning. Now, Carr is still a lap down, but because he put on his brakes in the fashion that he did, he will not be eligible for the lucky dog, which means he will just ultimately slide all the way back to the tail end of the lead lap. Might as well go get some ice cream.
Yeah. And, of course, well, that'll be good for J.C. Evans. I mean, we talked about Evans. He had lost another lap earlier, fell to 6 laps down. He's now 4 laps down. So if it keeps up, I think J.C. might end up on the lead lap. Of course, Kenny Powell has gone a lap down, I do believe, as well. He's probably got some damage he's probably trying to take care of. At the moment, we have 13 drivers on the lead lap. Even though Frank Flores was just involved in that crash, he's in 9th, or should I say 8th, actually. So, I mean, this is going to be a race. I think if you just survive it, you're going to get some good points. And, of course, Patrick Gitter, he's just glad to be out front. He's got control of these restarts. As long as he's got control of the restart, he's going to be fine. And, of course, he's got really good race car underneath him. Well, I'll tell you who probably wants to get up front and hope that Patrick Gitter has some sort of – they probably want it to go green, because if it goes green and Gitter has to deal with lap traffic, that's going to make it a lot harder on Gitter, because he's going to – some guys aren't going to want to go a lap down, and if they start to race him, there's a good chance Gitter gets involved in an accident, and that gives – maybe a must-need winner a chance, right?
No, Gitter's been here all night, man. And not only has he been here all night, he's been out front all night. This guy knows what it takes to win this thing, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's not, I don't even think he's fazed by what's going on behind him. He is just so dialed in as the pace car is down and away, getting ready to take this thing green once again. Under command of Patrick Gitter in the 21 Elite Performance Machine.
And here we go, green flag back out in the air. Another good restart there for Gitter. He's able to go uncontested into turn 1. Very close between the 76 and the 1. See a little
behind
smoke.
him.
I think believe that's Greg. Oh, Greg Carr, I think, got a little bit loose before the green flag actually came out. Oh, we see the 76. Having
he
some
is
issues.
definitely struggling right there. It looked like he was just being attacked. He was a chicken leg getting attacked by a pack of piranhas there, the 76 that Derek Heitman was.
Yeah, I'm telling you. He definitely looks like somebody had some fried chicken and ain't nobody ate. They ain't ate in weeks, and then they were attacking him. And, of course, Heitman able to recover. He's still in that third-place position, going to work his way up to the 1 of DeCiani. Gitter is driven away. Where does he – man, as Gitter tries to get by Greg Carr, of course, that's going to put Carr 2 laps down, as I think believe he was trying to fix some damage on pit road. Carr going to stay at the top of the track.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to stay out of the way, but you see how everybody's having to try to bend their lines to get around him, man. To some guys, that's going to be really easy. It's going to be second nature. To some guys, I mean, their cars are pushing like dump trucks going through those turns, so it just makes that whole thing just that much more unpleasant.
It just depends on where you catch him. I mean, if you catch him, on the straightaway, or no, if you catch him in the corner, it's not so bad. Like if he's high on the racetrack and you catch him in the corner, that's okay. But if you catch him on the exit of the corner, that's not good, because that means you're going to have to, like you said, bend your race car in a way you don't want to do it. You want to arc your corners out to make sure you have as much speed as you possibly can. You can't do that when you got a car that's in that lane.
Absolutely.
And, of course, Patrick Gitter out front, 1 second gap back to Matt DeCiani. And, of course, this is Greg Carr has provoked a little bit of some battling on this racetrack. You see Frank Flores.
Fantasy Flores gets into the 29 of Mark Sanchez. Wow, the Sanchez into the Flores. That's a salad nobody wants.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Frank Flores has had a time here tonight. And he, I'm sure, is probably ready for this race to be over. I'm sure there's some expletives he's saying.
I do believe there's probably a lot of guys down there that are worse for wear at this point, man. It's just, you're down here, you're beating and banging every lap. It's relentless, and people really don't appreciate it because you're sitting in your basement or your ready room and you're just down there just sweating bullets. And the 24 Kenny Powell extending his shitty evening as he is sideways again.
What a way to put it. As we see Powell spin it out. Let's see exactly how. As, of course, he was following behind Cody Colley. He's already a lap down. Now he's gone 2 laps down. So I'm wondering if maybe he just, spun. I think he's a little bit loose. You can see he's loose right here. Spins out right in front of his teammate, Mark Sanchez. And that is the second time him and Sanchez have had contact together. They're supposed to be teammates. As you see, like you said, Kenny Powell not having a good evening in the slightest. And he loses another lap as a result. 13 drivers on the lead lap at the moment, as we're still a little under or over 100 laps to go here.
But I get it. He's got the breast cancer awareness motif going because Kenny Powell's a boob.
I heard that, Big Al. I heard that. Definitely very interesting. I'm sure he's going to love to hear that.
25, Greg Carr gets the lucky dog, and that's going to put him back on the lead lap.
I believe that's going to put him actually just 1 lap
down. It's still 1 lap down. Yeah, that means we still have 13 cars on the lead lap, 19 cars still listed in the race, but out of the 19, unfortunately, I think we only have 16 that are currently turning laps.
I do believe. Okay, so it's looking like Frank Flores is getting ready to go a lap down, but I think he got off of pit road just in time. No, he didn't. Actually, no, he didn't. He didn't. So I thought he was passing. He looked like he was trying to pass back Gitter there, but no, he did not. He is going to go. So now only 12 drivers on the lead lap because Frank Flores came off pit road just a hair too late. That's unfortunate. And that's, that's not a surprise because, I mean, think about it. This just is a short track the pace laps here are very short, and a lot of that what that means is you don't have a lot of time to get damage repaired.
Absolutely. You don't have, this in Bristol, this is the shortest track that's on the circuit, period, hands down. But yeah, it's practically impossible to get any work done here and not even suffer.
Of course, pace car lights have now gone out. Back to green flag here in just a moment. At the moment, Patrick Gitter, your leader. Matt DeCiani sits in second place. Passalak was in third. Brian Johnson's in fourth. Miller Bonds, good recovery from him. He's back up to fifth. Chris Johnson's, of course, sixth. Mark Sanchez is in seventh. Derek Heitman's in eighth place, I do believe. So here we go. Ryan Strunk, of course, ninth. Darren Mullins in 10th. And the green flag is getting set to fly once again here at Martinsville. And the green flag is out as Patrick Gitter takes off. Oh, we see three wide.
One. Yeah, that was Heitman, Bonds, and the 4 of Johnson. It looks like everything worked itself out. Guys just having different breaking points, and it provided a great opportunity for us to see just what kind of racing we got going on here tonight.
Yeah, almost had some contact as well. Oh, looks like Bonds getting manhandled by Brian Johnson as Bonds goes back to the inside of the 4. Could this continue to get physical? Looks like Bonds backs off, lets Derek Heitman go. That's definitely curious. I thought Bonds was going to maybe push the issue, but did not. Brian Johnson up to 4th, and I think possibly Bonds might have been like, Heitman, go ahead, get him.
Well, when you look at that top 4 now, they're all playoff drivers. So I just don't think Miller Bonds wanted to be the guy to be responsible for destroying someone's playoff hopes and dreams.
He could very well be correct. Whoa. Heitman, I'll tell you what's getting very close and personal with the 4 of Brian Johnson. You can just tell Heitman wanting so badly to go towards the front.
And we need Derek to do that. We need Heitman up front to win this thing because that's what's going to keep everybody interested.
Oh, and there goes Johnson. He locks it up. And that's going to give Derek Heitman that position.
Once you start bleeding, man, the Sharks sense that in the water, and then it's just over.
100%. That's definitely very much the case.
Heitman now going to be profiling the 6 of Brandon Passalacqua. He's going to be waiting on Passalacqua to just make the slightest misstep and suffer the same misfortune as the 4.
Miller Bonds as well, all over the 4 of Brian Johnson. So that battle is not over. Oh, Miller Bonds getting incredibly close to the back of the 4. And at the same time, as you mentioned, Heitman all over the rear end of the 6 of Passalacqua. Here he comes to the inside. Passalacqua just drives to the right and let him go. Oh, a little bit of a lockup for Bonds. I'll tell you, one thing we haven't talked about is how much these brakes are being used here tonight.
Just 100 laps to go.
That's right. Now less than 100 laps to go.
On a half-mile track, that means we're just, 50 miles away from having this one done?
That is correct.
And I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a long, hard, arduous 50 miles, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been watching us here, we're coming down to the end of an era. We've seen teams be recreated. We've seen lines shift. We've seen newcomers added. The ISCA looks totally different this time this year than it did last year this time. Definitely tell everybody that you know, like, follow, subscribe. Get more people in here to watch us do this thing because I think it's just going to continue to grow and be great.
I definitely think this has been one of the best seasons we've had so far in the ISCA's history, and I think it's going to continue to be better and better. Of course, this has gotten all the hallmarks of a really good green run at the moment. Pastor Gitter has about 0.6 on Matt DeCiani. Heitman, of course, has gotten by Pasalaco. Let's see if he could possibly catch up there to the EPI duo. As, of course, we see Pasalaco having to fight off his own teammate, Brian Johnson, as well as you see Chris Johnson trying to catch up there to Miller Bonds, as well as the 64 Darren Mullins. What a great recovery for him right now. He's looking a lot faster than he did earlier. I'm wondering if maybe he's figured something out, but I'll tell you what, Ryan Strunk is really pressuring the 64 as well.
Yeah, but the 64 is not the Mullins that really needs to do good. It's the 54, Randy Mullins, the son.
You're right.
He's the one that's still in the hunt here, but he finds himself in 10th place, and I don't think that dog's going to hunt. I think where we're at right now, if he doesn't find himself somewhere up to the front sooner than later, I mean, he's going to be on the outside looking in. 94 laps to go. I do believe we still have a couple cautions left in us. But right now, though, Brian, the desperation has definitely got to be sitting in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and just going even back to Randy Mullins. He came into this race minus 80. 80. Not 8, 80. Like 8-0. This man has no chance of getting into the Final Four if he does not win. He has to win. When we say must win, he has to. There's no other path forward for him. And it just does not seem like he's got the race car to do it. He's going to need almost some divine intervention in order to make it to the Final Four here. He's got to change something.
Well, if they named it, it's possible. A miracle by any other name wouldn't be a miracle, right?
That's true. He's going to need one. Patrick Gitter, though, in control right now. If he wins, of course, I do believe that seals the deal for John Schaffner. Schaffner, of course, who got points in stage number 1. Looking like Gitter, though, getting a little bit loose off the corner here. Starting to see some maybe chinks in the armor as he's catching up to lap traffic as well. I do believe that is, if I'm not mistaken, Cody Colley out ahead of him. Greg Carr as well. So that's definitely curious. Greg Carr, and of course, a little bit further out is Cody Colley. Right now, DeCiani is faster than Gitter. This is curious. Maybe DeCiani is a tinkerer himself. I'm wondering if maybe he's been tinkering on that race car.
You think? I mean, if there's anybody that's going to come out here and try to put the jelly on the opposite side of the bread and the peanut butter, it's going to be Matt DeCiani. I mean, that is what he is here to do. I mean, this guy, he represents the winning side. So I think if he does get up there, it's going to get a lot more interest in this Ryan Strunk sticking his nose all over the 64.
Yeah, and of course, both of these drivers have caught up to the 99. Now, keep in mind, the 99 had some wheel damage earlier. Now, does he still? A lot of times when you're on iRacing, yes, you can get all of the optional repairs finished. But sometimes there's some damage that does not get repaired. Like sometimes the crew can't fix that problem. Now, could he be having some sort of issue like that? He said earlier, when we talked to him earlier, he was like, I'm on my way to the front. But unfortunately, he got some wheel damage. I think that did change the car. I think that he, unfortunately, is driving with one hand tied behind his back in a lot of ways. But he's still doing good. I'm not saying he's not doing well, but he needs to win too. He's another driver that's in a must-win, and he's got the 64 and the 77 that are just, they're whispering in his ear right now. And also you got a little bit of, Miller Bonds as well, all over the 6 of Brandon Passalacqua, but love that we're getting a good green run right now.
Oh, yeah, we were long overdue, man. This race had more than its share of cautions, especially what you'd expect from, an ISCA sanctioned event. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We were not expecting the amount of cautions that we did have. But right now we got a green flag run. I think everybody's happy. Looks like we'll be able to get this thing done. But I still think we do have the propensity for a couple more cautions before we're done.
Oh, wow. We haven't looked at a whole lot of this, the stints. how many laps are on these guys' tires. Brandon Passalacqua, last time he pitted was 75 laps ago. My word. Everybody else has pitted fairly recent, except for Patrick Gitter. Actually, DeCiani and Gitter, 90 laps.
Yeah, look at the leaders. 90 and 90.
Heitman's on 31 lap old tires right now, and somehow Gitter and DeCiani are still pulling away.
Well, wait a minute. What is the
Fuel window is 165 laps. Now, that is a very interesting question. If we stay green, they might not make it.
That's close.
But here comes DeCiani. Look at how quick he is right now on the longer run. He is breathing down Patrick Gitter's neck right now.
And that's not allowing either one of those two guys to like save anything. When you've got that much competition and it's all over you like that, I mean, the saving scenario kind of goes out the window. And these guys are going to be cutting it kind of close anyway.
Well, I mean, Derek Heitman does not have to save. He's got 30 laps. I mean, he's well within the range of being able to make it to the end of this race. So, no, Gitter and DeCiani can't really save. They can't, because if they get passed by Heitman, they're losing anyway.
Big problems.
So they have to have a caution.
Yeah, big problems. The 99 just got into the 25.
Chris Johnson seems like he might have had some issues. You see, he's racing now with Ryan Strunk. He said he got into Greg Carr. We'll see if we can see what happened here. Of course, we see the 99, Chris Johnson. He was following behind, I do believe. You see he's right behind the 12, and you see the 25. Oh, yeah. I see exactly what you're saying right there. The 99 is coming off of the corner there and did not see the 25. I think it was too late. And that set him up for the 77. Luckily, the contact was not too hard.
No, but it was contact nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. It could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. Luckily, he's going to live to fight another day. He's in 8th place right now. He lost a position as a result. But look at Ryan Strunk. Man, this guy's fast. Ryan Strunk is looking fast. He is all over Miller Bonds right now, and it's looking like he's got a really fast hot rod underneath him. Like I said, he's another driver. I think, of course, he was involved in the playoffs, but did not make it that far in the rounds. I think if you gave this guy another shot at it, I think Strunk would be a lot more of a danger to deal with. I mean, he's gotten so much better when it comes to long runs. That was one thing that I always I'd say picked at Strunk about, was his long runs. He was always that guy that he'd pull away, and then, he'd lead some laps, but he wouldn't stay there. Because, of course, we see Frank Flores definitely acting as an obstacle. More contact for the 99 as he gets into the 8. Tell you what, Chris Johnson's probably not happy.
I was just sitting there thinking, I mean, he has got to be loving it. I mean, what a day at the office, right?
Oh, yeah. He's just like, man, every lap car that I'm going by, I'm getting into. As you see, one lap car coming up is Kenny Powell getting ready to go a 3rd lap down.
It's different when you're just out there and you're on the interstate and you're dealing with just normal everyday drivers. These drivers are supposedly professionals, and you still can't even pass them at a decent speed.
It would be really curious. I mean, just looking at the speed right now that DeCiani's showing. I mean, if he was able to get by Gitter here and win this race, that'd be crazy. I mean, considering he's already won one of the playoff races. He has already locked himself in. But if he wins again, I mean, that's just going to make that one machine legendary status. As you can tell, I mean, Gitter does not seem to be liking the handling of his car as much as the one of DeCiani. I mean, DeCiani looks much better. And I think DeCiani's being held up right now. And it's even causing Derek Heitman to catch up as well. I mean, Heitman's caught up by a couple tenths the last few laps. Also, you got to keep in mind that Kenny Powell is also acting as somewhat of a, putting a lot of dirty air on those two. And I know dirty air doesn't matter that much at this track, but it still does have some sort of influence considering just how much air plays into this car. I mean, this car, it matters a lot more than it does with other race cars.
Yes, sir.
As you see, lap traffic definitely playing a role. Kenny Powell trying to stay just 2 laps down, but unfortunately the leaders gonna want to put him another lap down as we get ready to start lap 250. And that's going to put us with just over 60 laps to go.
64 laps to go in this contest, scheduled for 313 laps. 13 cautions so far. Out of that 13, 2 for stages. That leaves a total of 64 laps completed under caution.
You see, here comes Gitter peeking under the inside of the 24. Kenny Powell not making it too easy on him. But it looks like I think they are going to be able to get by the 24. And of course, that is as well brought Derek Heitman that much closer. 1.2 seconds is the gap between Heitman and the leaders. How does Kenny Powell handle Heitman? Does he let him go?
I think so. I think you don't have really much of a choice. If and I always say this, I didn't catch you because I thought you were cute. I caught you because I'm faster than you are. So don't flatter yourself by thinking that I'm courting you. Just get the heck out of the way.
No, 100%. Of course, Powell has some damage on that race car. Not playing with a full deck right now. An unfortunate, just a bad night for him.
Yeah, bad night for Powell. Just a really, but he's still out there. But DeCiani, he's definitely trying to make himself relevant here in the 21's world, and he is doing that by simply keeping applying firm pressure. How about that?
I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, other times we've seen Gitter be the class of the field compared to the other EPI driver of DeCiani or Shane Parrish. I mean, most of the time Gitter's the one to beat. But I'll tell you, here lately, DeCiani's been the one to beat. He has been a killer in these playoffs. And I think he's starting to, in my mind, become a championship favorite over Gitter in a lot of ways. Because, I mean, look at what he's doing. I mean, you don't put pressure on Gitter. That usually don't happen. Usually, you don't see Gitter kind of being pressured, right?
Right.
But here we go. See J.C. Evans now going another lap down. He gets out of the way of the leaders. And I thought Derek Heitman was going to possibly catch up to the top 2, but it looks like that is not the case. Heitman now 1.7 seconds. He is actually being held up by Powell.
Great car way off the pace there on the inside.
Looks like I think Carr's coming to pit road.
Indeed he is. You think that's going to be it for him this evening?
I would think so. I think he's probably done for the night. Has not had a good night tonight, unfortunately. But I'll tell you, if we stay green, there's a lot of cars these guys are about to come up on. The 2 leaders, if you look, there's a lot of cars. Cody Colley, of course, I do believe he, of course, is a lap down. He's getting ready to go a second lap down. But there's a bunch of other cars that are going to get in the way as well. So this race is not over.
Yeah, that's Sanchez, that's Flores, that's Colley. That's who's going to be right there in front of the judges.
Yep.
The judges, the leaders, I mean.
They're definitely going to be right there. And this could complicate things. It could also give the opening to Matt DeCiani that he needs.
And he's going to be right there trying to do that as Flores goes way high there, allows Schaffner and Sanchez to kind of slide by. Leaders are going to be coming up on them. Cody Colley is now the 84 car. He's going to be the first car that they do come in contact with.
And, of course, that'll put Colley 2 laps down. 11 cars on the lead lap, soon to be, I do believe, 10. Miller Bonds, unfortunately, he's been having some issues. Really fast on the shorter runs, not so much on the longer runs. He might end up going a lap down. He's 12 seconds, 13 seconds back from the leaders at the moment. Just look at that. DeCiani getting a big run up to the back end of the 21. And these two, once again, have been the class of the field. EPI has done it so many times this season to where they have been the class of the field. You got to give them a ton of credit. Ooh, DeCiani getting so close to the back of the 21. And, I mean, I've talked about it before. You know, these both guys are teammates. And, you know, you even said it like, oh, yeah, or you've kind of been a little bit more devil's advocate saying that you don't think they're going to really battle each other that much. But I think I'm saying you're saying teammate. When you're on a team, you just think about just doing team stuff. I think that we're getting to that point. No, I didn't mean it like that. Come on now.
You said I was a devil's advocate.
I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean. It's a saying. But I'm just saying that at this point in the season, teams are starting to be not as important right now. Because, I mean, they're coming up to a championship they're about to fight for next week. You think they're really going to be thinking about teams next week?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because as long as we're running, because we're gonna practice together, we're gonna be running practically the same setup. You know, so yeah, I want us to be faster than the other guys because at the end of that thing, if we go out 1, 2, 3, that's better for you and me.
Well, yeah, I get that. No, 100%. Preparation-wise, yes. But execution, on race day, when we're out there gridded up, I'm trying to beat you.
Yeah, and if I'm racing you and you're the strongest competition that's out there, that means we're going to be better than everybody else. So, you know, you got to think about it. It's a double-edged sword. That's the reason why you pick teammates the way you do, because you want people that are going to make you be on your best game, and that's how you guys are going to come together to beat everybody else. You know, if you want a body like Oprah, work out with Oprah.
Here we go, DeCiani to the inside. He's going to try to take the lead, and I think he's got it. What a move. Matt DeCiani made it look easy. Absolutely. New leader. I mean, Patrick Gitter led over 200 and something laps. And DeCiani's like, you're not going to lead anymore. It's mine now. Thanks.
And more importantly, I mean, he's still set up to lead the most important laps, but I mean, these guys are sitting at $130 on their tires and fuel. You add the 42 laps that we got to go. I mean, come on, that puts them at 172 laps. That's going to be tight.
Yeah, that's going to be tight. I don't know. I think they might have enough gas. We got to think we had some cautions that probably allowed them to save some fuel. The estimated fuel window was 165. It's going to be tight, but I think they might be okay. If they weren't okay,
yeah,
I definitely know the alarm bells are ringing right now.
Yeah, they're good to go. I think if they weren't good to go, they would have already made the adjustments. I mean, you don't get to be in the position of Gitter and DeCiani by making mistakes, right?
Well, I don't know. No, I don't know. I mean, I gotta be devil's advocate this time. I feel like if they couldn't make it to the end, they're not going to do anything different from right now. They're going to wait and hope a caution comes out.
Oh yeah.
But then again, I mean, maybe on erring on your side of the argument, I feel like they wouldn't have, like you said, they wouldn't have put themselves in this position. Like the only reason they didn't pit to fuel up was because they knew they were good to go.
Yeah, winners start winning at breakfast.
Well, here we are, lap 275, getting ready to be completed here. And,
you don't luck into winning. That's what I'm saying.
No, especially not here. But while we have, of course, a little bit of a lull in the action, we're getting closer to the end as well. I think now's a great time. We'll take a step away, pay some attention to our sponsors. We'll be right back with the conclusions of the Goodies 313.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so talking, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Ow. Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious, because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Thursday Super Cup Series race at, of course, Martinsville. This is the second to the last race before we conclude the Super Cup Series season. And, of course, at the moment, Matt DeCiani is out front. Patrick Gitter led over 200 laps in just a handful of laps ago. DeCiani, of course, said, "This is mine. I'm taking the lead. Goodbye." And essentially, that is what he has said. Goodbye. 1.9 seconds he has on Patrick Gitter since he made that pass. And it definitely seems like Matt DeCiani has been holding back here tonight.
Yeah, 31 laps to go in this thing, 30 now at the line. And it's been quite a story. DeCiani sitting back just, seemingly watching, just waiting, lying there, waiting to pounce. And then he pounced. And now I'm just wondering if he's ever going to turn back, Brian.
Well, the thing about it is keep in mind, if you're just joining us, earlier in this race, Matt DeCiani spun out, went back all the way to 17th place, and now he's up in the lead. I mean, what a recovery. Nothing could hold this machine back. Nothing could hold this driver back except for some lap traffic, considering DeCiani is coming up on Mark Sanchez. He's coming up on Miller Bonds. He's coming up on Brian Johnson. He's coming up on Chris Johnson. If I think this continues, I think we could possibly see DeCiani lap up to possibly 8th place. And, of course, he's coming up to Sanchez right now. And we have been green for a long time as well. Last time I do believe we pitted was, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe possibly over 60 laps ago. This has been a long run.
Yeah, you're right. I don't see him catching the 6, but it's definitely well within his rights to catch all the way up to the 99 of Chris Johnson. And that's 8th place, man. That's a wallop.
And this has been a crazy long run. This is the longest run we've seen all night long. Of course, we saw the numbers there. Matt DeCiani is about 145 laps on his equipment right now. And he has it doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. Like, he is just looking incredibly quick, hitting some incredibly fast laps. As I do believe we're coming up very soon to 20 laps to go.
Right now we're sitting at, it'd be 24 at the line for the leader, which is right there now. And yeah, you're right. I mean, that's 12 miles. We're getting it done.
Yeah, these guys at the end have just got it in gear. They're ready to go. And, Miller Bonds sideways in front of the leader. No caution.
Going, that was not his fault.
Couldn't be. He just got loose. It's not over. Here he goes. And he brings the caution out.
Oh, how much money did they pay him to bring the caution out?
I don't know, but I tell you what,
That's not what we needed. We did
I don't
not
think
need that.
DeCiani wanted to see that at all.
I don't think DC Al, DC Brian, DC Comics, I don't think anybody wanted to see that.
I don't know. There's some drivers might be happy about that, considering Brian Johnson, Chris Johnson was getting ready to go a lap down. And I think Miller Bonds just saved him from going a lap down. Somebody just sent him some PayPal, and apparently it cleared. Let's take a look and look back at that little bit of a mishap spin. And of course, this is somewhat of a two-parter. As you see, he's being chased down by Mark Sanchez. Just gets loose right in the center of the corner. He's able to save it. Everything's fine.
Lots and lots and lots of action down pit road. Everybody from the pace car all the way back to Chris Johnson, all stopping, getting much needed tires and fuel, getting windshield tear-offs. I mean, you would have thought it was a parade going down here. I thought it was giving away free toast ovens or something. Like, holy cow.
And we had some drivers stay out.
Yeah, 21 laps to go, and all of you guys are coming down here? Like, what's really going on?
Darren Mullins and Ryan Strunk both stayed out.
And that's going to make it that much interesting, Brian. I mean, right now, remember I told you we were making something that was going to be gooey and it was going to be sticky, and everybody assumed it was going to be sweet. But no, we're using salt, man. And here it comes rearing its ugly head once again. You got cars that are on 93 lap old tires, and they're going to be out front of this thing with less than 20 laps to go. And you know, this is one of those tracks where the leader gets a substantial advantage because he gets to determine the speed by in which everybody accelerates and takes off, and he even gets to set himself up for success in that way, right?
No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Everybody's going to try to have to predict him. He's got the advantage, but the only thing is does he have wheel spin? I mean, he's going to be 90-something lap old tires. I mean, there's got to be some sort of spinning involved in that.
Well, we saw guys doing business on 90-some old lap tires. I mean, when I say they were doing business, they were doing business.
I mean, the fall off has not been that great, but I think it's going to be still very difficult to keep DeCiani behind you. I mean, DeCiani is really, really fast. Of course, Heitman as well.
You say the fall off hadn't been that great. One to go, lights off on the pace car, ladies and gentlemen. We will be going green here the next time by. But Brian, everybody took 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah.
And they might not have needed the fuel, but they damn sure got the 4 tires. So that's something else that even though the degradation might
no tires. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just calling it what it is.
They felt the need to do it. Yeah, no, you're right. They weighed the risks and they took them. So you're right.
You know, we know they didn't need the fuel, but they dang sure took the tires.
Oh, you're right. Pace car has gone down pit road. Let's see how much those tires mean. We're about to find out. Green flag is out. Oh.
64 might have got a black flag there. He did kind of get thrown off sequence, but I think he was able to collect it back up.
Yeah, I think he tried to predict when Strunk was going to go, and unfortunately went a little bit ahead of Strunk. Had to hit the brakes, and unfortunately,
big whoops right there. The 64 is sideways. That's going to bring the caution out again. Did not work well for him getting into that turn right there, Brian. He was up on the high side, and they just sent him sliding away.
Yeah,
still more contact there between
that was pretty much the 76 that got him. The 76 just kind of, just got into him, and I don't blame the 76 at all. I think the 64 just didn't get going, and these guys were in a hurry. It's towards the end of the race.
Yeah, but now, you're sitting back there. It's going to be 14 to go. You still got the 77 out. He's going to be roughly at 100 laps on his equipment by the time the green flag flies again. And you still got to get by him. Not only does he get the benefit of actually determining when he takes off, launches, accelerates, but he still gets to be the biggest roadblock you could be. And he's got DeCiani as well as Gitter right behind him. I said Glitter. Hey, all the glitter is home.
You mentioned the 76 going around after the fact, and that was off the bump. Oh! Okay, this is day one stuff, Derek. What are you doing? Usually when traffic's coming up on you after you spun out, you want to stay still until they get by you, but unfortunately that is not what he did. He backs up into Kenny Powell. But yeah, Derek Heitman, after the fact, gets spun by Brian Johnson as he was trying to regather himself. So
I think this was the first time he's been here. He's new.
Yeah, it must be, because usually don't kick it in reverse when cars are coming towards you. But I mean, you know, he probably, I gotta be honest, these guys have done 300 laps. I wouldn't be surprised that he's probably pretty aggravated and not thinking too clearly. But yeah, going back to what you were talking about, the 77. The 77 on 100-plus lap old tires right now. If he sees another caution and we get a green-white checker, there's a good chance Ryan Strunk might win this race. If that's how it happens.
Schaffner's back out there in about, he's rolling around here now.
Yeah, he's been running this whole time except for that 49 laps that he wasn't. So, I mean, he's 49 laps down, but I think he's trying to get a position here. I think he might get Greg Carr's spot, and that'll be good for him.
Yeah, well, Carr's got a car full.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely had a race full here.
Carlotta, that's his new name.
But here we go. Pace car lights going out here. You see DeCiani trying to warm the tires up.
It's going to be 11 laps to go by the time we hit the green flag. But this is go time. I think we'll probably see another caution, kind of hoping that we won't, just trying to get this one in the books. But, I mean, there's just too much laying on the line. I think these guys have got to get aggressive. I think Ryan Strunk has to come out here I think he's got to try to put his name in the winner's book.
He's definitely trying. He's in a good spot. Of course, he doesn't have very good tires. We'll see how he's going to be. If a caution flies his way, he could win this race. But here we go. Green flag back out, and he goes. DeCiani tries to predict it. Unfortunately, not able to.
He stacked him up.
He definitely did.
And now he's fighting for his proverbial life as he's got DeCiani's going to be on the outside. DeCiani making no bones getting around him here. Still got to try to complete the pass.
3 wide further back in the pack.
And I think that is going to do it. 10 laps to go here. There's the 4 sliding sideways.
The 4 and the 6.
He's going to take out his Paradigm teammate, Brandon Pasalacqua. What about a shift right there?
Yeah, that's definitely a paradigm shift right there. Let's see exactly how this happened. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they would. This is curious.
That was a bowling move.
Yeah, I think maybe Brian Johnson a little bit. No, you see the 6 went. The 6 I think missed his entry, and then went up the racetrack. And unfortunate, Brian Johnson trying to get around his teammate, not able to do so. Oh, he sends it. Look at Brian. I think this is actually Brian Johnson sending it. Desperate, kind of some desperation mode there for the 4.
You think?
Yeah, I'm guaranteeing you the Paradigm teammates probably not too happy with one another. I'm telling you, this Martinsville could break apart a team real quick. Of course, I don't think that's what's going to happen.
And unfortunately, the 77, thinking better about his decisions, is now had no choice but to bring it down pit road, Brian.
Yeah, this is really late to do that. Of course, he got past for the lead. Can't really blame him.
Cody Colley is actually going to be the recipient of the lucky dog, so that's going to put him back on the lead lap, and that leaves that count to 12.
That is correct. Now, look who's up in 3rd right now, who is in a must-win scenario, and as well as 4th. Chris Johnson and Randy Mullins. Both of these guys, one of them have to win in order to move on. If that happens, that leaves Josh Schaffner sitting out of the championship 4. Could Randy maybe do a big bonsai move and win this race? It could happen.
No, it can't. Not with the efficiency and the tenacity that the one's been driving with. I think Matt DeCiani has all of the cards in his favor right now. He gets to dictate the start. I mean, he gets to pick a spot. Yeah, I think the one's the car to beat.
No, I agree. I'm just saying it. You never know. I mean, this Martinsville has been unpredictable.
Don't get those guys' hopes up like that. Because they're going to be listening to this and they're going to be like, oh, Brian says I got a chance at this thing. When you know that, man, they ain't going to get past DeCiani. If they do, then they got to get past Gitter.
We'll see. I mean, it's just championship 4. I mean, I don't know. What's Randy willing to do? I think that's the question we got to ask.
I think it's even more like awesome that we do have the 4 that are in the championship up front here.
Here we go. Pace car lights are out. We have 5 laps to go. Going to be 4 to go. When the green flag flies once again. And there goes the pace car. Taking a left turn down pit road. Patrick Gitter, Matt DeCiani make up the front row as they enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out in the air. Matt DeCiani right now in control. If a caution comes out now, we're going to have a green-white checkered drag race between 54 and the 99.
There's your caution. There's your caution.
Oh.
Multiple places that right there is going to occur for you. We got the 79 to 6. We got the 64, the 76, the 60, the 99. I mean, the 50. Come on, man. I mean, 31 flavors right here, cautions for you. Which one you want to start with?
Looks like a lot of people getting involved with one another here, as this is going to set us up for a green-white checkered.
I mean, we went from the prom to apocalypse like in half a lap.
Not exactly sure how this all broke like this. You see the 54, of course, racing to 99. Looks clean enough. See right there, a little bit of a tag to the rear of the 99 as he tries to slip in to a space that I don't think was there. As well as you see the 77 of Ryan Strunk. Unfortunately, he's beached on the apron there. He's able to somehow get it reversed.
So Greg Carr, Derek Heitman, both going to be gone. This is going to be a green-white checker, the only green-white checker that we have here. So which means once the green flag flies, the next flag's going to end this thing.
Man, what a wreck that was. Wow.
Some of us are going to Chuck E. Cheese, and some of us are going to the unemployment line.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, that wreck involved a lot of people. Derek Heitman, I do believe, out of the race car right now.
On his way to the infield care center, that is the protocol. Hopefully he is okay, and we will get a chance to, well, we probably won't talk to Derek tonight, you know. Wanted to see how he was doing, this being his first time at this racetrack. Definitely put on a great show for us, though, here this evening.
Well, at least they got Martinsville hot dogs. They're famous for them here, so. Yes, sir. Green-white checkered attempt. Of course, I do believe, like you said, only one of those here tonight, which I think is a good thing for the sake of the nerves of everybody out here on the racetrack. Because I think that the post-race, maybe not the post-race show, but the post-race race review is going to be incredibly interesting. But here we go. Pace car lights should be going off. As, of course, Matt DeCiani is dominated. I should say EPI is dominated. Patrick Gitter and DeCiani have led a lot of laps. Combined, I think they have led all of the laps, essentially. Except for Ryan Strunk, he led a handful.
Indeed.
Pace car lights are
This-
out. 2 laps to go.
This is going to be DeCiani's chance right here to kind of set the tone. Because he can beat Patrick Gitter, but he's got to beat him out of the chute.
I think he's got the advantage. I don't think he's going to be telling him when he's going to go, that's for sure. As we exit turn 4, onto the front stretch, and the green flag is back out. DeCiani able to gun it before Gitter does.
Gitter immediately moving down towards the protecting inside because he understands if he has any shot of getting by DeCiani, it's going to be in order to get down to the inside. Now he's on the outside. Watch those fenders, Brian.
Yeah, they might get a little bit physical. Here comes Gitter to the inside. Can he make the pass happen? This is the final lap. They're going to be side by side across the start-finish line. And it looks like they're in the middle of 3 and 4 right now. And I think Gitter, maybe. Yeah, Gitter gets it done. Gitter with a last lap pass on Matt DeCiani takes the throne back. And he will win his way in to the Final 4. And Matt DeCiani going to be definitely heartbroken there. As you see him out there, of course, Patrick Gitter out there burning it down. With that, let's take a look at our final race result. Of course, Patrick Gitter, your winner. Matt DeCiani coming home in second place, unfortunately, because of a last lap pass. Miller Bonds, very topsy-turvy day today. Comes home, though, in third. Brian Johnson in fourth. Cody Colley, I think this is a season-high finish right here for him. Fifth place. Chris Johnson in sixth. Mark Sanchez, good finish for him. Seventh place. Brendan Pasalacqua in eighth. Ninth, Ryan Strunk. And 10th, Randy Mullins.
Kenny Powell coming across in 11th with Frank Flores. And
of course, J.C. Evans in 13th.
Aaron Mullins.
Oh, you cut out there,
Darren
Big
Mullins.
Al. We didn't hear you say J.C. or Derek.
Yeah, sorry about that. 14th, Derek Heitman. 15th, Darren Mullins. 16th, Josh Schaffner. 17th, Greg Cart. 18th, Alexander Carr. 19th, Al Koslowski. And Jeffrey Souza rounds out this 20-car field here for us tonight. With that done and celebrations done, we will take a step away and be back with our post-race show.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms. From camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
Or there, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so talking, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Ow. Ew. Ow. Ew.
Want relief from tough pain without the tough taste? Try Goody's Cool Orange. Goody's fast, Goody's delicious. Because pain relief shouldn't be a pain to take. Goody's flavors, taking the pain out of pain relief.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, of course, with our post-race show here and in the ISCA Goodies 313. Of course, first up, we're going to go ahead and talk with Miller Bonds. And I do believe he's in the booth with us now. Miller, you got a read on me.
Yeah, bud. I gotcha.
All right, Miller, definitely a great job to you, man. You kind of had a little bit of an up and down day here today, I got to say. I mean, you went from almost going a lap down or to being a lap down to up to third. Walk us through, how the day went. I know that it was definitely some trials and tribulations out there.
Yeah, I think I logged the lap in every position possible. The car was horrid on the long run. Not necessarily set up. Man, I just tore up that right rear and made it undrivable. Ended up wrecking there with, I don't know, 20 to go or so. But short run was great and got a little bit of luck there at the end. And you hang around long enough and you might run across some luck.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I know I kind of, me and Big Al talked about it earlier. I probably owe you a little bit of an apology because one of those cautions, I was like, did he bring that out on purpose? I even looked through the cockpit camera, and I was like, okay, no, he had shifted down and the car had gripped all of a sudden, so I kind of debunked that. But I felt like I owed you a little bit of an apology, man. But with that, great job to you. I got to ask, how does the future look for you when it comes to going for a championship here in this series? I know you really haven't had a chance to fight for one this season, but you are still, I think, in the running for the Cup Series title.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to next year and the ISCA. Kenny does a great job. I've had a blast running this league. Everybody runs really good. Got some good drivers in here, and really looking forward to next year. Hopefully, I can be competing in the playoffs this time, about 12 months from now.
Yeah, we definitely hope so too. I think you definitely got what it takes. You definitely do. We Big Al talks nothing good but good about you. I of course talk good about you too, but I'm a little bit less biased considering he's always got to defend the Alabama gang.
Not just Alabama, man. Huntsville, cohabitants of Huntsville, Alabama, baby.
Well, how about that?
Absolutely.
Well,
the Rocket City.
Before y'all get too much, y'all gonna start. I know y'all just gonna start gabbing, about Atlanta or Alabama, I should say. Who are you gonna shout out there, Miller?
Yeah, man, I got to shout out my wife, Brandon, my daughter, MJ, a buddy of mine watching at home, Justin Chittum. Man, he just had a recent heart surgery. He's a fan at home and he's watching every week. But of course, I got to shout out Ryko. Great setup, always great setup. Kenny with the league, and you guys up in the booth, of course.
All right. Well, thanks, Miller. Hopefully your friend recovers well. We'll definitely keep him in our thoughts for sure. And you have a great night, brother. Good job on the top three. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
All righty. That was Miller Bonds, of course, driver of the 12 machine. Definitely very much a playoff, I think, favorite possibly next season. Can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do. But before then, we're going to talk to Matt DeCiani. Big Al standing by.
Hey, Matt, Big Al up in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, once again, brother, you always come out here and you make it look really easy. Tonight, it looked a little bit more complex as you were chasing down Patrick Gitter, but I was still rooting on the one car. So just talk us through it, man. I mean, is it such a thing as like, hey, we're teammates, so we're taking it easy, or are you guys out here just playing for blood?
I felt like we raced each other pretty hard there that last stage, honestly. Obviously, we raced each other really clean, but I mean, I felt like we were both going for it. We were both pretty much set on points for next week and advancing, so it was kind of just, let's race, let's have fun, and let's see what happens.
So what are your thoughts going into next week? I mean, you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going for this championship and you're going to try to win this thing. How does it look at Phoenix?
I'm hoping it looks a lot like it did tonight. Me or Patrick racing for the win at the end.
All right, man. Well, we're always enamored. Love to see you guys out there doing what you do. Hope you're having as much fun as we are. Before we let you go, man, who you shouting out for your second place finish here tonight?
Yeah, thanks for you guys for sticking around and calling this race. It got a little long there in the middle section. Thanks for Kenny for putting on the league. Shout out to Patrick that schooled me on that last restart. And yeah, shout out to Miller for his third place finish. Then yeah, shout out to Martin PC and EPI for the setups.
Appreciate you much, brother. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, of course, that was Matt DeCiani, driver of the one car. Definitely had, I think, the best chance on the long run for sure. But Patrick Gitter, next up, our winner, wins his way into the Final Four. I mean, you would have pointed your way in either way, but you win your way in, and you led 270 laps. I mean, Matt seemed like he had your number there towards the end. If the caution hadn't came out, what would you have did, Patrick? I mean, if that was the case, I think we might be talking to a different person in victory lane.
Man, I totally agree. If that thing went green, Matt takes home the win, no question. He definitely had the longer run car. I had the shorter run car. We were experimenting with some stuff tonight, so it was interesting to kind of compare and see. When that last caution came out, it was funny. I think it was the second caution. I had set up a pass right when the caution came out of 4, and then that last restart, I got lucky that it stayed green and had time to set something up. But again, man, I just got lucky with this one tonight. I think it went green. I think Matt brings home the checkered.
Well, I don't know if it was still. I mean, I'd say in some ways you got lucky, but I think you also had to nail the restart and be able to get in front of him. I mean, that was not an easy thing to do by any means. I mean, I wouldn't really go selling yourself so short. What was the thought there on that restart? I mean, to be able to, do a last lap pass like that at Martinsville is quite difficult to do, especially without using a bumper.
Yeah, I knew that my car just had some really good bite off exit, and I mean, regardless, my only shot was to pass on the outside. I knew I had some better exit speed, so I just said, screw it. Into 4, coming to the white flag, I put it on the outside, tried to stay as close as I could to Matt without dooring him, and then just hammered the throttle off exit, got a good run, and then moved over to the inside and was able to make it work. Had just enough of a run off 4 to get a nose in there going into 1. So it just kind of worked out. And I think it was just a difference in how our sets were kind of tweaked on, honestly, from short run versus long run.
Well, it definitely worked out well for you. Of course, you more than earned your spot into the Final Four. Speaking of that, what's the plans there? What's your confidence level looking like at a Phoenix race?
Phoenix is such a fun track to have at the championship. You've got the dog leg where it opens up. You get guys 4 and 5 wide. You don't know what's going to happen. I think it'll be exciting. But Matt mentioned earlier. I mean, I hope it's another iteration of tonight. With he and I competing there at the end for a win. Ideally, we'd like to see that. With us being 2 EPI guys there, making it into the Final Four, that'd be ideal. But really just looking forward to next week. We'll put in a lot of practice and make sure we're dialed and ready to roll.
All right. With that, I think we've held you guys long enough. Who you want to shout out?
Man, thanks to you guys for sticking around. That was a long race compared to what we normally see. So appreciate you guys in the booth. Appreciate Kenny for organizing the league. This has been fantastic league to run this season. My first season here in it. Looking forward to just fortunate to be into the Final Four next week. Shout out to EPI for the sets they put out each week. Martin PC, Team Conti, C12 Design Shop for the paint that I've got. Shout out to all the EPI guys, the house drivers, Matt especially. I mean, he put in a insane amount of work last week for us and has helped both he and I out this week. So big shout out to him. Appreciate what he does and the team in general.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Patrick. You have a great night, and we'll see you next week for the championship race.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Alrighty, of course, that was Patrick Gitter, winner here tonight, and definitely a big congratulations to him, Matt DeCiani, and Miller Bonds for getting the 1, 2, 3 finish there, or getting those top 3 positions. You can tell I'm getting wore out, but great job to everybody. I do believe we probably have it all settled in. Kenny Powell, can you tell us who is the Final Four here tonight?
Sorry about that. I was on mute and trying to still tally it up, but I do have it. And it kind of no spoilers. It's going to be top of the chart. Patrick, Matt, Brandon, and Josh Schaffner makes it.
All right, so 2 EPI drivers versus 2 Paradigm drivers at Phoenix next week. It is going to be a hot one. That is for sure. Big Al, what's your final thoughts here at Martinsville?
Man, I hate to see it all come to an end like this, but man, I'm excited for new beginnings. Congratulations to the top, to the Final Four, and man, hats off for all of these drivers that came out here and gave it all they had this season, as well as their family members for supporting them in their endeavors. Brian, great race, great season. Good night.
100%. I definitely ditto that. Of course, great job to everybody out there. Thanks you to everybody as well that tuned in here tonight. Make sure you tune in next week for our championship race. The Super Cup season is coming to an end at Phoenix Phoenix Speedway. I do believe I'm probably getting that wrong. I'm tired, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long one. But make sure you tune in 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when the broadcast stream starts. Race itself will go green a little bit after 9:30, so make sure you tune in. It's going to be one you don't want to miss. We're going to crown a champion. We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This has been the ISCA Thursday Super Cup Series. My name is Brian. We'll see you next time.